Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, boys and girls. This is the Marcia Week Show, and we are coming to you live from Barbados. Beautiful, beautiful Barbados. It's Independence time, and you see me in my Independence colors. You like my Independence colors? I had to get all up in it. Last night's show was just off the chain, and I told Dave, I said, listen, I have to get all up into this. I had this pin here, and I said I got to wear my pin. Yes, and I get all the earrings and all of that. Yes, yes, it's independence. It's independence, independence. So if you're home, even if you're home, nobody's seeing you. Go and put on something blue or yellow or black or all three colors. We're celebrating, and we have so many things to celebrate tonight, folks. So many things. So, oh my goodness, let me just welcome everybody. Happy, happy, happy independence. Lord, man, if you're proud to be a Bajan, let me see flags up. Let me see flags up. You hear us singing? I need to talk, right? And not sing. Teroni, good night, man. Good night, Nigel. Fire. Oh my God, Judy Jukes, good night. Vernon Cards, good night. Cecilia Miller, Marcia Miller, are you all related? Queen Bee, how are you doing? Happy Independence. Did anybody have any conkies yet? Did you do any conkies? Anybody made any conkies, or you are the kinds that will buy the conkies? All I have enough banana leaves. Nice and pretty. But I don't have any conkies yet. Mildred Ben, how you doing, girl? Joyanne, Angel Humber. Oh my goodness. Michael Jilt, Marvin, a guy named Marvin. Aline, that's a Bajan name. Sir Alfred Benjamin, all the way from New York. Are you wearing your Bajan colors in New York? You know, when you live in, I used to live in Queens, New York. Yeah, I did. And let me tell you, anything Barbadian, we were there, because when you're away from home, then you're all into it, right? So we'll make sure that you're celebrating up there. Marcia, my namesake Nina 52512. Good night, loyal sons and daughters. Another Marcia, or I'm repeating. Oh my goodness, Yvette Berry. How you doing, Beverly? Prescott Captain. Oh my goodness. Nina said she wearing what you wearing, blue and black, but with white. Need some gold. You need some gold. I know how it is. I know how it is. Oh, yes, yes. Any man. Kyan, have you had any conkies yet? You had any conkies? Mm? Do you like your conkies with raisins or no raisins? I don't even know why we're having this debate every year. Because how can you eat conkies without raisins? What is that? What is conky without raisins? What you having? Cold cuckoo? Is that leftover cuckoo? Conky without raisins? What is that? Oh my Lord. Yes, 58th independence. Yes. Oh. Hey, Cami, good night. Well, guess what, Cami? Tonight we are going to have the play the national anthem, but this one tonight is different. Okay, this one tonight is going to be very, very different. So I'm going to ask everybody now to get ready. You all right? Get ready, Dave. I hope you are ready. I hope Dave is ready. Listen, are we ready?
In plenty and in time of need, when this fair land was young, our brave forefathers sowed the seed from which our pride is sprung.
Wow, that's a nice rendition. Do you all like that one? Oh wow, wow. We didn't go into the second verse, but we like that one. That's a different one. And we're seeing younger Barbadians and everybody joining in and singing that anthem. Isn't it beautiful? All right, so we're ready again. We're celebrating, we're celebrating. You have your flags. Do you have your flags? Get something in your hand to wave, something blue, yellow, or black. Let's go, Dave.
If you're proud to be a Bajan, put all your flags up, put all your flags up. And if you represent we nation, let me see flags up, let me see flags up. We represent it too, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue. We represent it too, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue.
You hear the rhythm of the duck, see people jumping up, them down behind the truck and the big back up on top. We come here to be free, so jam in unity and let the whole world see that we proud of we country. Sweet music playing and we behaving like there is no tomorrow. This life vibrating, the mood is creating enough to wash away sorrow. This is one big jam, reflecting in love and giving praise to God above for bringing us here. Another year we celebrating the culture.
If you're proud to be a Bajan, put all your flags up, put all your flags up. And if you represent we nation, let me see flags up, let me see flags up. We representing blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue. We representing blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue.
So long, this nation is we pride, together unified, 166 squared and one smile wide. They just dig up yourself, if you want no one else, show love and raise your colors. Sweet, sweet music playing, and we behaving like there is no tomorrow. This life we treasure, Bajan forever, lovely Barbados, my home. Taking up my land, Barbados, my home. No matter wherever I roam, we industry and we pride. Take it worldwide, never forget we culture.
If you're proud to be a Bajan, put all your flags up, put all your flags up. And if you represent we nation, let me see flags up, let me see flags up. We represent the blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue. We represent the blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue. Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. Oh, yo. Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Push up your hand cause you're proud of this island. Blood, sweat and tears, man, it helped build this nation. Strength and intelligence are part of my people. Nobody can take that away. What me say? Both day we grow and both day we can stay. We only fly out to take a little holiday. Barbados island of dreams, sweet from the heights and terraces straight to the housing schemes. Yes, paradise is the only way to describe my land. Built by the Father's hand, built by the Father's hand. Paradise is the only way to describe my land. Let us sing in celebration now. Nothing can compare.
You're waving something. Get something and wave, girl. Come on, take off the bag. Take off the clothes.
Bajan, show appreciation.
Jump up,
Let me
jump up,
express
jump up.
If you're proud to be a Bajan, put all your flags up, put all your flags up. And if you represent we nation, let me see flags up, let me see flags up. We represent the blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue. We represent the blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue. Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. Oh, yo. Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh Lord. This It's so beautiful. Anybody, listen, I sweated. I sweated. I sweated. Listen, listen. Who was dancing at home? If you were dancing at home, let me see the thumbs up. Who was dancing at home? You have me alone here dancing. I sweating. Queen B, you were waving, or were you dancing, or were you waving? It's one or the other. No? Teroni was dancing. I know Judy dancing. I know Judy was dancing. I tell you, last time Judy was dancing at the roadside parliament, I had to call the pastor. I had to tell her go and call Dr. Ferdinand on her because my girl was holding on to something. Judy, I'm telling out your business. I'm telling out your business. I had to say, oh Lord, I'm going to call Pastor Ferdinand because Judith, she heard cross the floor, no, pretending. And Judith decided to hold on to something. Oh wow, okay, wonderful, 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 wonderful. Well, you know, we have some Bajan, old Bajan storytellers, all right? Some storytellers for you all. Dave is going to do. Remember, we started one last night, so we're going to finish it, right? You remember this one, right? So we're going to finish it tonight. Dumplings in the stew, proof of the pudding. Right? 6 hilarious episodes of Jeanette Lane Clark, and we have Marva Manning, Alfred Pragnell, Andrea Gollop. God bless their soul. I know at least 2 of these persons you're no longer with us, but we just want to bless. We want to enjoy. So over to you, Dave.
Dora, how are you feeling now?
I like all right now, Granny. The little rest I had this morning do me good. And I ain't care what nobody tell me they ain't nothing like ginger tea.
Girl, you're right. But look, just because you feel a little better now, don't mean you must tell Hush feel you know. I never seen the kitchen till today. Tech service where you could get it here, I tell you.
Granny, you're too wicked. What is he supposed to be cooking, Donna?
Sure, child. I see come back from the shop with a 10-mark Irish stew. I suppose the Irish too easy to cook. Shove it round frying pan for 5 minutes and it done. Hushfield is a lazy soul, so I'm making a sport.
At least he trying, though, Granny.
Trying what? It's only them frothy people up in England I see does eat all them tin things instead of proper food. Them just put more lunch and meat in our stew in the guts. It's a wonder so much of them just end up with ulcers. But I know Hushfield spend any time in England that he catch the habit. Dora, I bet you no matter how sick he was, if you was so drunk as to empty little mash up meat out of a tin and some peas and carrots from another one to put in front of Hushfield, he would have put some good blows in your skin.
But Gwenny, you can't be too hard on Hush. After all, we Bajan men's in a custom fine book in the kitchen, so they can't do a thing else but empty 1 or 2 tins when they find themselves in a tight spot. I'm glad to see Hush had the heart to say after getting something for me to eat. This is the first time, you know, Gwenny. Give you a chance.
You a chance? Look at don't behave yourself, though. Women's like you does really make these men's out here believe they got ready-made servants. I know I ain't encouraging not one of these good-for-nothing breadfruit swabbers in a foolishness. If they got hands to lift a fork to the mouth, they could cook and ting the said very well.
Dora, look. See what your huzzy looking after. Good. Look, your food ready.
Thanks, Hush. The little bitter could stop the hole in my stomach. Hey, will this plate look pretty enough? Carrots and
Out to a tin.
God, look at
beets
Out
and
to the next tin.
how the hell you...
piece of pumpkin.
Left that from yesterday. And some nasty-looking Irish chutney last tin. Hushfield, as far as you're concerned, things can't done there.
Benny Rice, I ain't going to say nothing to you. I want dignify. You hear that big word? I want dignify you with an answer. Dora girl, how the food tastes? Don't mind your ignorant sister. I do up a quick something, you know how, so you could put something warm in your stomach.
It tastes nice, Hush. This Irish stew tasty enough. You put anything in it?
What are you laughing at now, no?
Lord, why here and there. Little nasty mess out of a tin and Dora say tasty. Dora you's a good hypocrite, fair.
You don't let her worry you, Granny Rice. You mind your own business.
You're right, soul. But let me go ahead and prepare something for myself, do. Dora ain't bound to stay for your conscience. I'll go and get a bit of stew pork. I'll cook it for myself.
Well, I won't refuse stew pork, Granny. But this good to break the vein, you know, Hush. What you ain't eating?
No. Or my wife promised to left back some dumplings and steamed fish for me. I going over there soon as I satisfies that you feeling good again, Dora. Don't mind what Granny said, I just look after you. You know that?
Yes, Hush, I know. And I appreciate the little food too. Look at all nearly gone already. That Irish stew was real good though. Sometimes these things that come with a tin does be good for a change from the usual, you know all that.
Yeah. What happened?
Lord, don't be a word quick. I'm gonna get away in this kitchen today.
What do the old Skinner's mare now? No? I never see a woman always cacking and getting on so.
Dora, hold me quick. I'm gonna fall. I don't want to laugh so much. I'm making a sport.
But when one is tickling you so.
Nobody in mind, is she? Let me go and feed this puppy, do, Dora. Dora, you want anything else from the kitchen?
No, Hush, are all right?
All right.
Dora, you sure you're all right? Your teeth ain't feeling no sharper sense eating the food Hush people prefer for you, eh?
Granny, you is a real puppy. How you mean if my teeth ain't feeling sharper? What that supposed to mean now?
Well, Dora, you know a dog teeth supposed to be sharp. I want to laugh, but you know the Irish too used to taste so sweet just now. You just yam off the dinner dog food Hush feed up by mistake. I want drop. Oh, Lord, I want drop.
In the proof of the pudding, my man was Granny Royce. Alfred Wagner was Hushfield and Andrew Gollop played Dora Too Noise. Operators was Clarky and Brian, the writer Jeanette Leigh Clark.
Oh my Lord, that is hilarious. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's the first. I've never heard that one before. I don't know. I guess some of you seem to have known it before. I've heard it before, but just hilarious. Anybody has a favorite Alfred Pragnell story or one of those skits that you say that's my favorite one? I love that one. Anybody? Teroni, you have your favorite Alfred Pragnell story? Oh, Nina telling us her favorite. She said her favorite is the one with Pragnell did about the woman that said said the world coming to an end. Okay, somebody else said T for two. T for two, I don't know that one. T for two. My mom is T for two. Okay. So I'll write those down and ask Dave to look for them for you all. So you have T for two, and then the other one where they said that. Okay. Anybody has another story? Your world coming and another Alfred Pragnell story that you really really like that makes you laugh out loud. Nobody else? That's it? No? Somebody else? Oh, no. Okay, somebody said the one with Tanty Merle and the cricket. That's Trinidad. Now, this is the one we were listening to this one last night, right there? Right. This is at the bus stop. Yes, I remember hearing this how Maisie Ross gets saved. I remember that one. Listen, Nina, you know them. You know them. You know them. Oh Lord, if you want to cackle out loud. Listen, we're gonna have a little more fun. Yeah? Yeah, so this is Alfred Pragnell, Bajan bus stop, and we had started this one last night as well. Okay, so let's finish it up.
Well, let me hear now. I'm going to tell you because this bus like it ain't coming this morning. You did hear that Darry get packed up with some white frothy woman white still living in London? Well, no soon he meet she, then he stopped noticing poor little Delcina. All lucky for he didn't know who he did dealing with. Delcina got some horse hair and some guinea pepper. And she grind them up and throw them in Darry pants full. And in 2 toes, everything between Darry and the white woman they done. Well, what happened? Well, you mean to tell me you ain't know that when you do that, a man just pop up the woman that takes you away from you? Well, I never heard that in all my 52 years. 53, Lottie. Last December the 27th. Look, you did tell you how Delcina sat down upon the woman. It did like peas, licks like peas, girl. You know the massacre the white woman. You laminate she with blowers. Delcina, oh, you don't joke here. And you wouldn't think so now. She's like a real little mousey. A mousey? A mousey? Them so? Don't forget how ugly Skeet girlfriend Shirley licking Iachr at the community center last Christmas night when she catch you dancing with the next woman and Shirley said that she gonna say boo. B. But now you say so. You didn't know the woman ugly did way. Me? I's a Christian. My hair that night she did something to sleep on the floor. Maxine tell me she was working up like fart lightning. Your mind of Beulah Brathwaite. Beulah could swing that big boxy now. I hear she licked like a fella with it one. You want to tell she's one now, yeah? She can't remember nothing so these days. Not since she get deceived at the church. Oh, see she from Bard Street one more. Hurry for more. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Since she preaching. You look a really stop home. She says must he catch it with his door since she had that young fella Vincent prime there begging the bride after she did left for Traft night. Vincent then had one red sanctity name after she did done with the she left it like a waistcoat. Bear. He ain't so no duh. Vincent got a house in Pence Bay and driving him out more Datsun than John Reed boat. I ain't say who we get him. That is locking up. Charlie, I ain't surprised. It always look a certain way to me. Flinging about the hand when he talk and wearing enough gold bangle and earring and bracelets and things. But he tell it everybody, no, you know. You're not ashamed at all. Vincent want the Lord, a big man like he. He got 3 children to besides. And to be doing what he doing. Could keep that, son. I went driving down our F, I did passing out. And that the only transport that the hospital. Here's your sister. I don't like men like that at all. I won't take a lift from Vincent from head to head. I'll never get lucky. But wait, how long do we just stand up here at this basketball door? My 2 foot's getting tired enough. The transport board really want licks. Them could really close down. People up there want doozing. If I done a Christian, I would do it. One of these days, though, I'm going to go up there and let her know which God they're serving. Hey, wait, look. A car stopping. Maybe some person gave you a lift. Come along. Wait. Vincent. Maybe it's Vincent. Boy, you come just in time. I just call you name. A lot of say what a nice fella you is. Ain't that true, lots? Ain't the car pretty door? The Lord God bless you. As my little boy said, Vincent, boy, let me make a forward. I got him in town before 12. Let me go along.
Oh my Lord, no man, this one, no, he is hilarious. He is, I mean, almost every line there is a joke. Almost every line there is a joke. No, it's so good to laugh. It's good to laugh because we have a serious show, but it's good sometimes to have a good little laugh. I think Dave has one last song, Dave, in this Bajan spirit. So this section is called the Bajan spirit, and we are just reviving. We are remembering it, remembering old time things, and we've seen you see the pictures on the screen, the homes, etc. Especially those of you who are overseas. I know it would mean a lot to you. And we are remembering and celebrating all things Bajan. So yes, Dolores, no, hilarious. This was Hasbro. You just come in, you miss it. You miss it, Hasbro. You have to come on early, Hasbro, not to miss it. It's enough fun. All right, over to Dave, over to Mr. Weeks. Go ahead.
United as a nation, blessed from above, strong to have made it this far.
Unafraid of the future, surrounded by love.
Proud of who we are. These fields and the hills, beyond recall, they lift us up and never let us fall. We write on the pages of history, legends to legacy. We will all stand together as one. This is our land forever. Yeah. Guarded by angels, heaven on earth. This is our home. Gem of the Caribbean, diamond of the world, shine your light on everyone. Yeah. Our rock in the ocean, our shelter from the storm. Guide us when tomorrow comes. And under your blue sky, let the children sing. Light up their lives, teach them everything. A road has been built for us all to be free. Yeah. Legends to legacy. Oh, we will all stand together as one. This is our land forever. We will all stand.
Oh, wow. Isn't that beautiful? Look at somebody said, Tamika Harper said, look at all this talent. Look at all this talent. Did you all enjoy that? Was that a little emotional? That's beautiful, really beautiful. Look at all some of these people. I mean, we're seeing Richard Stout is there, and this is why we celebrate people. We celebrate the people that we have. We can see them, we can experience them. We celebrate the talent. We celebrate just who we are as Barbadians, yeah. And I think that it's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, let me ask you, how many of you saw today the hearing in Washington? I was getting calls from people who live in Washington. Someone from Haiti who lives in Washington called and they said, wow, they were thoroughly impressed with our Barbadian presentation, our citizens standing up there in Washington. How many of you saw that? Yes, people still come back and talking about the music. Yes, it's sweet. The music is really good. M. Gardner, you did not see it. Well, we're hoping to get a copy of that. We're hoping that at 8 o'clock we'll at least be able to show you the Barbadian, the citizens section, okay? Because what it was a hearing, so we had citizens of Barbados. We had 5 citizens who traveled from Barbados to Washington, and we also had Barbadian citizens in the diaspora who joined them there in Washington. And they worked together as a wonderful team and made some very powerful presentation. And so we're hearing, I mean, there are people who are commenting and yes, people were commenting, and I mean, they look so good. I can't wait for when it's time for us to show you those pictures. I don't know if Dave have those pictures right now while we're waiting on on Rose. If we can look at some of those pictures there from Washington. Listen, folks, this is about you. This is about you. These citizens were in Washington representing Barbados. They were speaking about the cybercrime bill. And look at them. 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 So that's them there. Yeah, let them see the whole thing, all of that picture. So this is what the hearing looked like. This is how it was set up. So on one side you had the government, right? And yes, somebody here saying they saw it and they were very pleased with our loyal opposition team. Yes, and these people that you saw there, they came from the show. And our loyal opposition, our citizens, they were there seated on the left. I don't know if Dave could move the picture out so we can see what's happening there on the left. Okay, we're having some challenges there. Oh, you saw it too? Oh, okay. I saw it. I was so proud of them. Lyric Lewis Dilk said. What about it? What made you so proud of what the citizens presented on the cybercrime bill? There was a big lawyer who wrote in the paper and said, oh, they're going to fail, that we're going to fail. A big lawyer here said that. And when you see the presentations of these citizens led by Dr. Ferdinand Nichols, led the team, and we also know that it's done. We're going to call the names because we weren't calling the names earlier. Dr. Nichols, and there was young Timone Howard, 20 years old, U.S. student. He was there presenting on behalf of of Barbados as well. And they're here on the left, your left, and on the other side is the government, The government, they had their big lawyers that they paid to be there. And we had our lawyer, but it was pro bono. They didn't charge anything. There was Shaquani Hunt that was there. Don Leacock was there as well, representing the citizens of Barbados. Yes. That's the that's most of the team there, and we have some of the persons there from the diaspora. And I don't know if I can call everybody's name, so I won't call everybody's name. But that's them looking real good. Everybody looking real good. I tell you, see the Barbados colors. I tell you, man, Mr. Timon there on the right. Yes, Dr. Fernie in the back there, and that's Shaquani in the front. And wow, I tell you, yeah, yes, I thank you. We are a people of excellence, and we're trying to show a little bit of it tonight. And why did we go to Washington? We went to Washington because we wrote to the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, and we told them about the cybercrime bill, and we told them that they're about to pass this bill that infringed on human rights, and we sent them a whole set of documents so them to see exactly what they were doing to us here in Barbados. We reached out to them, and they said to us, listen, we're going to have a hearing, okay? Come to Washington, and we are going to set it up for you to come in and do a hearing, and we're going to listen to you. And so we are waiting to hear what the final verdict of this thing is. The government, I said, was there. There was the ambassador to the U.S. There's Vic Fernandez was there as well, and they had this big lawyer that I don't know how much they pay that lawyer. Our lawyer, we didn't have any money to pay no lawyer, because everybody you see there, we put money together and bought the tickets so everybody to go pay for hotel and food and all of those things, okay? And we took care of each other, yeah. So that's what we did, and we had a lawyer. We didn't have to pay for the lawyer. Thank God. That's them there. Everybody there at lunch afterwards. So that's the full team of them there. Yes, and when it was finished, that's everybody there. Okay, when it was finished, everybody there when it was finished. Yes, yes, as Timon in the back saying power with the hand up. Don't they look smart? Isn't this not awesome? Yes. And this is so Barbadian. I want keep this picture there, Dave. Go back to that picture for me, please. This is so Barbadian. Go back to that picture. You see the passion in them as they're there to represent Barbados. Where is the passivity? There's no passivity for you to go and stand before. This is before the government in another country to complain on them. You know that, man, this is good stuff you're seeing here. You know that they are full of passion, and they were flying the Barbadian. And if you go a little closer, you will see that they had on the pins, right? You see that they had on the pins on them. They're wearing the pins. Every man jack had a pin on them. Please. More than you can say about the leaders. We understood the assignment. We understood the assignment, and we were doing it. We understood the assignment. Yeah. Yes, Kathy said they represented our case in a very articulate way. They were not intimidated. And that's what I want us to understand. Don't tell me that Bajans are weak and Bajans are passive. Passive what? Do you understand? I mean, they were intelligent too. What you are talking about? Right? They represented our case in a very articulate way. They were not intimidated. They were strong. They wore the national colors and so much more. Let me tell you, they understood the assignment. You see them there? You see how them look official? You see how they look official right there? They understood the assignment, and they were there to deliver. Yes, and Gardner, they look lovely. They look lovely. Wonderful. And I gone so much into this and forgot that Rose is there. Miss Corbin is there. No, 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 no. That's not lovely. Take that one off. Take that off. That's that. But you know what? Keep it. Dave, go back to that. Quick before let me put Miss Corbin in because I don't want to forget. Put that picture back in, Dave. You see, do you know? Do you know that you see this brown water here? This brown water was mentioned in Washington at the hearing. How many of you heard Timone Howard mention the brown water at the hearing? The brown water, he talked about the brown water in St. Philip and called Peter Phillips' name right there before the commission. Anybody heard him? We're making history. We are making history. We're making history, and that's why tomorrow evening they're going to come in. And don't tell me it's too much for them. Don't tell me it is too much for them. We are going to go down to the airport, and they should get in by about 5:30 tomorrow evening, American Airlines. And we're going to go down there and make them feel welcome coming home. Yes. Yes, we're gonna go down to the airport. Those of you who can come. Let's go down to the airport, man. Let's celebrate them. If we don't celebrate them, you think the government gonna celebrate them? No, we sent them. We collected the money from you all and we sent them. So they're coming back. We should go and celebrate them. Yes. Let us go to the airport and celebrate them. Yes. Right, you heard him, Kathy. He was calling Peter Phillips. Your name got called in Washington, D.C. for telling the people that they must still pay their water bill. Your name was called before the commission. And they told the people, anybody who listening, all in America, about the dirty brown water that the people drinking in St. Lucie. Yes. You don't want your business to go out. And the government, they were poor. When you see it, you're going to see how poor their presentation was. Had nothing in it, no strength in it, nothing in the government's presentation. No, 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 no. The arguments were not strong because they have nothing. Yes, M. Gardner, the water problem get exposed all the way in Washington, D.C. And that's what they don't want. That's what they want. All they have to do is to do the right thing because they're on this PR campaign. Rose, you're there? Good evening, Rose, Miss Corbin. Mrs. Corbin. Oh, boy.
Yes, I'm unmuting.
Oh.
I'm here. I've been
How are
here.
you doing?
I'm well, thank you. And you? I find that you are exuberant and energetic and, as usual, passionate about what you have to deliver and the engagement with us. It's a pleasure to be with you,
Yes,
Marcia.
ma'am.
It's a pleasure. And may I greet, as usual, our listeners, our audience here in Barbados and beyond, and say, as I always do in my greeting, good evening, we loyal sons and daughters, all firm craftsmen of our faith. And that's what we witnessed here in that photo that you showed, as well as the presentations. Marcia, I'm so saddened that I was not able, no matter how I tried, to get in on the presentation. I tried every possible way, all the links that were sent, but never was able to listen to the presentations myself. But from what I gathered, my WhatsApp messages were coming in often and with observations from persons about the poultry apathetic, lack of energy, reading from the script, representation from the Barbados government, the person whom they would have assigned to speak on their behalf, when compared with the group that represented the interests of the people. And I want to say thank you to those who shouldered that responsibility and got the message out, as well as you're now saying to us, squeezing in about the water issue in St. Lucie and the challenges and the problems that are experienced by the constituents, the persons living and doing business in that northern parish of St. Lucie. So I say kudos. And I did not plan on speaking to this, but in the brief moments after hearing you and reading in the chat how proud we are, I include myself, of the representation at the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights
Yes.
there in Washington, that Marcia do permit me to speak about the power of civil society.
Righty. Could you hold 1 minute there? There
Yes,
is someone from Washington on the line.
Yes, please.
Yes, and but we're just gonna flow tonight, okay? We're
Yes,
gonna flow.
indeed.
Right. So just give us a pause there, and I think she's saying she's ready to call, but I'm going to have to call her. Good night. So you might have to turn down your device. So you might have to turn your device.
Well, good night to you, Marcia.
Wait!
So you on the show tonight.
Who is this? Hold a minute. Who can guess? Who can guess? Listen, who can guess? Who am I hearing on calling into the program tonight? Who is this? Keep talking and let the people guess. Let the people guess who is calling in. And what's happening, sir? What's happening?
Well, we had another event. We had a very good presentation before the commission this morning. If you, all of the team, I mean, the young people, the young lady, Shaponi, Timone and Daniel particularly, they were, Timone and Donald particularly were brilliant. I mean, they were forceful, they were strong, referenced and had a tremendous impact on the commission because it was coming from young people. And as a matter of fact, from women, and many of the comments that were made after the presentations were done by the commission itself alluded to the fact that we had done a very good job in sensitizing the commission with regards to the concerns of the civil society in Barbados.
Wow, right. So people were guessing who it is. Yes, it is Dr. Ferdinand. And he is normally the host of the Marcia Week show on a Monday evening. So I'm filling in for him. So he totally surprised me. He's a big celebrity now because he's on his way to another speaking engagement. And he just kind of probably in the car and decided to speak to us. But with Dr. Ferdinand, you did such an amazing job in putting everything together and keeping the team together there in Washington. How was that for you?
Well, of course, it was enjoyable, to be honest with you. The synergy in the team is tremendous, and then of course we had a couple of people that joined us from the diaspora, and those persons were very helpful in us being able to do our rehearsals, give assessments, time in, help us with our languaging, and help us with terms of editing certain aspects as we were preparing for it. But the synergy of the team, the energy in the team, the passion in the team was absolutely tremendous. And I must say that it was a well, I don't know if the word is orchestrated, then of the diaspora. You know, we got some beautiful gifts from the diaspora. They brought down ties, and they brought pins, and it was just amazing, just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, you were cutting out there, and so they brought the ties. So that those beautiful ties were from the people from Barbadians in the diaspora. Then they brought pins, the pins to put on everybody. I mean, they were awesome, right? Hello?
Yes, sorry, I'm not hearing you.
Okay. Are you hearing now?
Yes, a little better.
Okay. All right. Okay. But who else is in the car there with you?
Well, one of the persons that came down from actually one of the members from the diaspora, and Timone is in the car with me, so I'm going to let him have the word with you as well. So just hold on.
Yes. But let me hear the person from the diaspora first. We're going to leave Timone for last. Let me hear because we want to big up the diaspora. No, the diaspora was of such support. I am telling you, Miss Rose Corbing and everybody that listen, come on, man, let's give a hand clap for the diaspora. They met them, they took care of them. Come on, guys, let's give it up for the diaspora. Let me tell you, the power of the Bajan people, whether we live near or far. So let me hear that diaspora. Who is that? Who is in that car from the diaspora?
Good evening, Marcia. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. I think you're the one that brought the ties.
Good evening, Marcia. Yes, this is Michelle. Good evening.
Good evening, Michelle. Oh my goodness. I want to thank you on behalf of us here in Barbados for your tremendous support of the group there in Washington. You've done a great job, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I would just like to say that today, excellence. It was just outstanding presentation. Everyone was prepared, and I feel proud. I feel proud to be Barbadian.
Wow. Listen, I could hear it in your voice. As you listen to them and present, and that's all I'm hearing from people. People are sending me messages, people that I would never even expect that had listened to it and said, wow, what am I hearing? They were fabulous. They were saying, listen, the government was poor. They said their presentation was poor, but that the team, that the civil society team, that they were excellent. I mean, isn't that amazing?
It was amazing. Yes, I felt like the government was ill-prepared. I didn't think that they took the presentation serious enough, and I felt that how they presented themselves was very unprofessional, and they lacked the information, especially when they have someone who represents a government that is not even a Barbadian.
Oh, okay, because so they had I heard it was some big shot. They had a big shot lawyer. I'm wondering how much they paid that person, because they didn't even know what they were. So didn't even seem like they were confident in what they were actually saying.
Well, I felt that the lawyer that represented the government wasn't even educated on Barbadian culture. He just just grazed over some things that it sounded like he heard what Barbadians do, And it was to me, it was a poor representation of who we are and how we live and how our society is.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, Michelle, I want to thank you. You left all the way from Florida and you have given so much into this project. And not just you, but the rest of the people in the diaspora who help with so many things. I won't try to say everything to embarrass people because I know you do so much and you don't want everybody to know what you do. But from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank everybody in the diaspora who made this possible. And, I want to take this opportunity, Ms. Corbin, to let people know. You see, when you hear foolish people talking about, we're getting money from some kind of right-wing organization, unless the diaspora, you're calling or the Bajans living in a diaspora right-wing organization, or those living here in Barbados. All of us put money in this, every single one of us, to make it possible, right? No one organization gave anything, right? Everybody.
This was a grassroots effort. There was no money from any corporation, any organization. This was out of everyone's pocket, and we chose the carpool. We chose transportation. We did whatever we had to do to get here and to represent the people of Barbados.
Yes, you heard what you said, that they carpool. They did not rent a car. You understand what I'm saying, Rose? They carpool.
Yes.
And all of the diaspora that drove, then everybody got in everybody's car. We're citizens, and I know you're getting ready to talk about that. Let me hear from Timone. Timone!
Hi.
Timone. Can I tell you? You know I like to tell the truth. That's Timone in the back there with the fist point. Lord, I don't know what Barbados is going to do with this little young man. Watch him with the fist. Listen, Timone, do you know Do you know your Auntie Marcia did not watch the hearing today?
Yes, I was told you were praying.
Listen, I listen, and the person I was praying the most for was Timone. I said, Lord help Timone. Lord help Timone. I could not watch it. I was on pins and needles, Rose. I tell you, I felt my stomach was going because we were doing rehearsals from here. We knew some of the challenges and so on. And one of the persons that led me down to the beach to pray was this young man here, Timone Howard. Timone, you mash up the place, Timone. Timone, how was it for you?
It was an interesting experience, I would say. Turn on the radio so that there's no feedback. It was an interesting experience. Like I said, I really am just awaiting the response, to be honest, from the commission to see what their recommendations are, how strongly they recommend, etc., how they proceed. I think that we did present rather strongly, especially in comparison to the presentation, 20-minute presentation. The whole response from the government, really, I think we were objectively stronger in our presentation, in more diverse, more intense in our expression. And I hope that would have reached the commissioners as it has the other persons who have given their feedback. And it seems it has, because I spoke to a few of them after the hearing was finished, as it concluded, and it seemed like they, even in their responses throughout the hearing, and then in conclusion of the hearing, and then after the hearing, it seemed like they seemed to understand at least a little bit what was being said. So we'll see what we look at.
Yes. Is it your first time in Washington, D.C.?
Definitely.
Yes. Okay. Wonderful. Well, I know it's not going to be the last. You're probably going to be leading many delegations up there with the way you were carrying on in the people place today.
I think so too.
Somebody said, your hurricane writer said Timone delivered. He was excellent in Washington in communicating with the commissioners. I said, Lord, I was sitting at the rock at the beach. Listen, I tell you, I can't tell no lies. I was so scared. I went there and sat down and I prayed the entire time, and I came back when it was finished. I was too nervous. But you know, it was wonderful. I am so happy. You don't know. You should see the big smile on my face. And I want to thank the diaspora again. I don't know if I can call everybody's name that I'm seeing on the screen. So if they didn't give me permission, I can't call names. But I just want to say thanks to everybody who was there. It's wonderful, wonderful. Well, what were you all off to now?
Well, I think there's an event. I'm just trying to pull the information up here quickly, but there's an event that was arranged, and we're heading to that event now. You know, with some of us who did the presentations with the commission, and so we're on our way to that event. I'm just trying to find the information for it.
Yes, it is. It's called the Sankofa Bookstore, and yes, there's a panel discussion there with people from Haiti and Kenya. Some of those that the people have seen on the show, they're meeting up with us, and we are going to further tell the world what is happening. We might be able to do a connection. We're going to try and see if we can connect with you guys while you're there. Just to, you know, we can hear what you're saying there and so on. It's a bookstore. It's a small space, I'm told, but it's broadcasted, you see. So I think it's another way to get some publicity out of this whole thing.
Yes, it is to do with the restrictions of free speech and expressions in the Caribbean. And there are a number of different speakers that will be there. And so we're going to represent Barbados and, of course, to represent yourself as well. And, you know, we just want to say thank you to the loyal opposition. I do want to take the opportunity, and Omar's here, in that you referenced the aspect of the funding for this effort. And I had to put Attorney at Law, Mr. Hinkson, in his place on several occasions today, when he attempted to continuously reference the fact that we were getting assistance from some right-wing organization. And I fundamentally told him, you know, it's time you stop that foolishness and realize that the people of Barbados are the people who have assisted us in getting here. It's an effort of the citizens of Barbados. You need to stop this. So
when did he say that? Did he say that in the hearing or after the hearing?
No, he said that after the hearing. As a matter of fact, he said it when he arrived, and he said it after the hearing.
Because he's telling lies. We can say this, Mr. Hinkson. If you're listening, you are telling lies. Go ahead and
I told him that.
Yeah.
I told him that to his face. I said, Edmund, because I know him personally. I said, Edmund, that you're a liar. You know that. You know that's not true. So I will say, nevertheless, a tremendous hail out of gratitude to the loyal opposition. So many have assisted us with this. You know, someone that we had shared the effort with, they helped with my expenses, my ticket, my hotel room, and everything. And I know this has reoccurred from several other persons. These are citizens, Marcia. This is a citizenry effort of the people of Barbados. And what was condescending of the attorney today was the manner in which he seemed to attempt to dismiss the efforts of the citizens of the country, suggesting that we were just some little fly-by-night small group of people, not acknowledging and understanding who we represented. And I'm reminded of the fact that there's only one parliamentarian that sits in Parliament representing 30,000 constituents. So when you see 4 or 5 people sitting at the table representing Barbadians, you could be dealing with 50, 60, 70, 100,000 Barbadians that we're speaking for. And I found it very condescending. And ineffective, to be brutally frank, you know?
Yes.
I'd like to know how much the Barbados government paid him. When you had an attorney at law, Mr. Hinkson, who was the chairman of the Joint Select Committee, who should have been able to represent Barbadians as a Barbadian, and you had the Solicitor General also there from Barbados. Wow. Why are we having some strange international lawyer who doesn't know anything about the culture? He doesn't know anything about the island, talking about 400 years of independence. I mean, the guy had a clue.
He actually said 400,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
400 years of independence.
400 years. I mean, he doesn't even know we've only been independent for something years. It is now, even 6 or 40, 50 years. He knows nothing about Barbados. He talked absolute rubbish. And you know, there was a point in time when I responded to him very firmly when we had the rebuttals, when we had the opportunities to rebuttal, because I found his attitude one of, well, I'm the big international attorney, you all are nothing. Well, he saw a different side of Barbados today, and I will say that the commission was very impressed with our presentation, both in how we presented ourselves in terms of our physical appearance, and also in terms of how we presented ourselves in terms of the content of what we shared. And one of them said to the government, and I'm going to paraphrase it, but one of them actually said to the government, based on what we are hearing here, it is clear that you are not listening.
Wow.
You're not listening. And you know, so I would say that he really did not do a good job on behalf of the Barbados government. And people in Barbados need to ask the government how much they paid for him to come into Washington, D.C. from wherever he flew in from to represent the government for 20 to 32 minutes. They could have given me that job and paid me to do it.
It was terrible. Well, listen, we're going to go into this. You know us. We are going to go into this a bit more, God willing, on Friday. All right, we're going to on Wednesday, actually Wednesday and on Friday, because we're going to get into who this lawyer is. Already we've done some research and we have pictures and we have everything, and we're going to dig in. We're going to dig in some more, talking about 400 years of independence. Oh, Lord of mercy. What a something. But that is the lawyer that you all get. And Mr. Hinkson supposed to be a big lawyer. Why he could not speak on behalf of the country?
Exactly. You know,
and having led the commission, the review committee.
These young people, Marcia, I could not have been prouder of young people from Barbados than I was today, sitting in the commission, listening to Donald, listening to Timone, and listening to Shaquani. Absolutely, they did Barbados proud, absolutely proud today, and I really want to hear them out.
Yes, and you did a great job, Dr. Ferdinand, in leading that delegation to Washington. You were fantastic. You had everything organized, and so we see the outcome. We want to thank you and thank we thank all of the team here in Barbados. It took a lot of team effort. Everybody here in Barbados too. I'm seeing some of the people here online. I can't mention the names of everybody because of the same thing, that people are afraid that they will shut them down. But it is us. It's the people that come on the show that has made it possible and made the government so ashamed today. They should be ashamed of themselves and telling lies that we are being funded by right wing. Lies, Mr. Hinkson, you telling lies, and if the cybercrime bill was in effect, you would go to jail. I am saying that. You're telling lies. Good. Well, thank you so much and enjoy your time at the event. I hope we'll be able to connect with you while you're there. Okay?
Certainly, and thank you for entrusting us with such a tremendous task of representing the people of our country. Thank you so very much.
You did a great job. God bless you, and bye, Michelle and Timon and everybody else who's in the car. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yes, bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Oh wow, that was we had somebody else to call in, but we'll do that. I'll tell her to do that a little later. Well, go ahead, Miss Corbin.
It was such a pleasure listening to the report and to hear the confidence that continues even after the presentation. I'm pleased. I'm proud to be a Barbadian. And Marcia, as Dr. Ferdinand was speaking, and the young gentleman, this scripture came to mind from Joshua 23:10. They think that we paltry, but this scripture represents us quite well. Where it says, one man of you, one can put 1,000 to flight.
Mm-hmm.
One can put 1,000 to flight. Think about that one right now in opposition in the House. There's an encouragement to us. And since it is the Lord your God who fights for you just as he promised, 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall chase 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And your enemy shall fall before you by the sword. And we are more than 5. We're more than 1.
Yes.
And if we see that within us by our words, our actions as civil society, we can make a difference like the one that was made today, where our delegation from among civil society, without cap in hand begging for donations or getting support as being insinuated, that our case can go to the highest autonomous agency, the Organization of American States, the arm of that organization which promotes and protects human rights within its member states and countries. And Barbados, from my research, signed on, I think, around 1977, a long time. Marcia, could I say 400 years ago? Like the gentleman said, but we've signed on. And our case has been taken to that autonomous body, which gave us a hearing, and which, as Pastor Ferdinand shared, has responded by commenting on how well researched and well presented was the case. Now, I just quickly, because Marcia, I had not planned this. I said that I would play it by ear.
That's okay. If you could just give us a good little 10 minutes, we have another caller to come in. So don't worry, we're flowing tonight. We're flowing.
All right.
Yeah.
So give you 10 minutes now.
Yeah, I'm saying go ahead and make the presentation, yes. But it's it's not. I know you're accustomed to have your things organized, and so we're just flowing tonight. We're gonna have another call in another couple of minutes. Okay, so keep going.
Yes, let me just go on this one. What upset me as I was reading today, after I couldn't get through on the Zoom conference, what upset me as I read was the Attorney General's presumptuous comments, kind of like dismissive of the steps that were being taken by civil society to take the matter to the Iachr. And this is from one of the papers. I quickly sent it to Dave. Dave, is that the Starcom one with the voice? Can we get the audio for that one? Let me read it then for the audience.
Yeah, he
please.
has the audio. The audio is going to come up there. Yeah, the audio is coming up now. Just give us a moment. Yes, keep going until it, yeah, you can, but it's
Yes,
going to come up.
Dave, may I see that one again and I read it so that
Okay.
could
A
you?
hearing of a general nature, and I need to make it clear that the Inter-American Commission is very different from the Inter-American Court. The Inter-American Commission will hear issues of a general nature, but the purpose of those hearings is to receive information on human rights situations in connection with specific topics and issues. And it can issue recommendations in respect of those rights, but it is not to suggest that what the Commission says would be binding. I think it's important to make that distinction that we are going to have to defend our position on the cybercrime bill before the Inter-American Commission, but this will be in the nature of a dialogue with them. While they can issue recommendations, it's not going to be binding on us in any way.
So we
I
heard
understand
that from,
that
sorry, are we continuing with the audio?
committee chairman, Mr. Edmund Hinkson, is that the bill was fully examined by his committee. They took into account many of the recommendations of the individuals who appeared before them, and they have actually agreed to changes. So one of the things we're now looking at is to see whether some of the things that have been complained of by the petitioners have not already been dealt with by the select committee. Nonetheless, there's no objection on the part of the government at all to participating in the hearings. We've always been a consultative government. The Inter-American Commission is strongly supported by us.
There we go. So already it is one could hear, let them go, let them say what they have to say. We will defend what they say, but we are in no way bound to do otherwise. And that was issued, that statement was issued about a month ago when they were made aware that this delegation was going before the Inter-American Commission on human rights. And so you hear already the dismissive reaction or response to something of such significance, and the fact that the AG said that the committee reviewed and the committee incorporated some of the responses or concerns raised about the cybercrime bill. But what was the response, Marcia? Instead of stepping back and considering the submissions which were written, I submitted written ones. You know, Marcia, behind the scenes, there was a team of myself and 3 others who did research on the cybercrime bill, generated enough information to distribute amongst persons to submit to the committee. But what happened? Instead of taking a step back and reflecting on the contributions, we were more or less penalized. It became more punitive.
Yes.
Than saying, let's consider, let's revisit, let us see how we can incorporate and meet a point where we satisfy the Barbadian public while at the same time attending to our policies and attending to our own requirements as government. That did not happen. That is why this delegation took it to the Iachr. I am sure that if we had a more responsive, a more receptive, a more respectful, a more responsible response from government that the embarrassment experienced today before the Iachr would have been clearly avoided. The expense also, Marcia, at paying that person to give the legal representation. Why couldn't the same Edmund Hinkson, who was the chairperson, who led the review committee, and he has all the information at hand, why couldn't he and say, I know that he would need to have a team to work with him, but I am sure that the money spent on that representation, plus those who went up, could have been put to better use. And these are the things that frustrate me and raise many questions from my end, as well as from others, about good governance and about good governance. So you are hearing it. And the other, could we see the other clip that I sent to Dave, please? And then we can exit here, hand over to you to
Yes, yes. So we're gonna
back.
we're gonna show a little bit of the a few minutes of the presentation because some people missed it. Yes, go ahead.
This here is from Barbados Today, where it is attributed that to the AG that the government has stand by controversial. Even the press continues to call it controversial because the press itself knows that they too will be impacted and penalized by this same cybercrime bill. That is why they have qualified it as controversial. And in that article, they are saying that, could you scroll a bit, Dave, and let me pick up what was attributed, scroll a bit. The government confirmed on Wednesday, that was in October, that it will defend. So already it is in place that there's no going back. Even what you see what is said coming from the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, that there is no going back. They will defend it and continue. Haven't we seen, Marcia, that many a time from this government, they defend their failures, they defend their stance and continue? Haven't we seen it with Hope Housing? Or we'll investigate it, but there's no pulling back. Have we seen it in the Ministry of Education? Or we'll investigate it, but there's no call for resignation or ask the minister responsible to resign. Haven't we seen over and over again that defensive approach taken by this government to continue, even though persons, civil society would come out and say, no, reconsider in the interest of the Barbadian public. So this is where we're at. But I'm so pleased that that representation went forth powerfully and gained momentum and also gained a respectful response and consideration from the IACHR. Over to you, Marcia, and I'll come back in.
Yes, great analysis, Rose. And I so agree with you that if they had just listened from beginning, we would not have to spend all this money, because I know that they would have paid a lot of money for that lawyer that was there, even though they had lawyers here from on the team from Barbados. This I'm hearing that the Solicitor General was there, but they still had to bring in a lawyer from overseas, to be there on that case. A
Why
great
couldn't
cost.
they have taken the same MP, Marshall Cattle, who tabled and led it?
I don't know, but Hinkson was in charge of the Joint Select Committee, but he
And
still
he
was
was
not.
in charge of the review committee, so
Yeah,
they had their people.
they had their people, but it's obviously Hinkson. Hinks, they did not have the. They seem to have not had the confidence in Hinkson, so therefore they had to go and get somebody else to represent them. And you know what's a good thing about us? We could not find local lawyers that were interested. That's the truth, and so and had the time. Some were interested but did not have the time to go. But we thank God we found somebody, and we didn't have to pay them. It was pro bono. Our case, they believed so much in our case that they got themselves there, Miss Corbin, and decided to help us. And at the end of the day, what people remembered is the citizens. And that's what our lawyer told us. Our lawyer told us the commission wants to hear from the citizens. That's what he told us, how we prepared to go. But Dave, can we hear something now? Can we hear some of the? So this is my first time, people, because I was too scared to watch today. I was at the beach on a rock praying for my dear Timon. So I can't. I'm done. I had children up there and Shakwani.
If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. Many thanks for the opportunity to address this body on an issue of profound concern for all citizens across the Organization of American States who value freedom and democracy. We believe that freedom of expression is a fundamental human right that is at the core of a healthy and vibrant society. Yet, this freedom of expression is blatantly being stripped from us in this draconian cybercrime bill that the government of Barbados is forcing onto the citizens. This is evidenced by the fact that Section 20 of the bill seeks to criminalize internet use that is considered to have caused anxiety or emotional distress, with potential fines of up to 50,000 US dollars, prison terms of up to 10 years, or both. Should our citizens be thrown in jail for a decade simply for posting something online that political elites can claim makes them anxious or emotionally distressed? The Attorney General has already declared to the public that the results of today's hearing are non binding, showcasing how little this government care about democratic dialogue, the OAS itself, the people of Barbados, and more with enforcing their unjust laws. I'm a social media influencer in Barbados. My content receives millions of views each year. My content spans comedy, education, philanthropic initiatives, and social change oriented posts across all platforms. I use these platforms not only to entertain and connect with my community, but also to educate and highlight issues I believe these needs change. This bill, however, threatens to criminalize that. The law's deliberately vague language leaves it open to interpretation and therefore abuse. If a viewer claims that my content caused them anxiety, as many of my posts about inflation or economic uncertainty do, I could face up to 10 years in jail, a $50,000 US fine, and costly legal battles. The government aimed to intimidate us into forced silence, knowing full well no one can afford these severe fines or spend a decade away from loved ones merely for expressing themselves online. Objections to this bill are evident and widespread. This bill has been met with constant active protests throughout the nation. Cyber experts worldwide have rejected the merits of this bill, and most importantly, the people of Barbados have vehemently disapproved of this bill. And this is why we, the people, must continue in our civil resistance and ensure that our voices can never be silenced. We ask you today to stand with the principles of justice. We ask you to stand with the people of Barbados. We ask you to stand with the mission of the Organization of American States. We ask you to help us safeguard these last few remnants of freedom of expression in Barbados and to remind this government that true democracy across the Organization of American States can only thrive when freedom of expression is upheld everywhere.
Good morning, I'm Shakwani Hunt. Today I speak on behalf of activists and broadcasters. Can I say that? Will I lose my government contract or job if I write that? If I lend my voice to this commission, will I be victimized when I get back to Barbados? Welcome to Barbados, where we're chilling. Can you feel it? The chilling effect that occurs when I hesitate to exercise my legitimate right of freedom of expression for the fear of negative repercussions. How is the chilling effect achieved in this very sunny paradise of an island? Beneath our diverse cultural landscape, below the purview of tourists, the government cancel culture is steadily expanding. I submit to you that this government's dangerous cancel culture is the underlying cold front that causes the chill. There is a cause of trouble a government worker participated in a protest march against the perceived government corruption, who is now victimized daily and no longer in line for promotion. And it's this troubling climate that we hear the thundering entrance of the cybercrime bill, specifically sections 19 and 20. While this bill could protect our children from online predators and the Barbadian population from online crimes, it also brings a cold front of chilling effect on the broadcasters, activists like myself and the average Barbadian. A woman's ability to organize online and call for change, being seen through movements like Me Too, which I saw Barbadian women use the internet and social media to speak out against sexual harassment, abuse, to call out for predators, and to push systematic change. Today, I ask the Commission to consider how this type of activism will be negatively impacted by the proposed cybercrime bill, especially sections 19 to 20. I speak on behalf of myself and the other Barbadian women and young girls in my line of work and ask you to examine this bill and determine whether or not Barbados should adopt criminal charges to broadcast open-ended concepts such as alleged anxiety, humiliation, intimidation, emotional distress, which can be easily used against us for the interest of women, particularly in high patriarchal societies where women like me attempt to challenge the status quo. So I am carrying out my job. If I cause anxiety, humility, or great emotional distress, I could actually go to jail for 10 years or face a fine of $100,000. So what would that do for female activists and broadcasters? Should I resort to the familiar place of silence to be seen and not heard? Welcome to Barbados, where the chilling awaits the fate of the cybercrime bill.
I'm Reverend Dr. Ferdinand Nichols, and I'm here to express the deep concerns for myself and my multi faith colleagues in Barbados regarding the content of the Cybercrime Bill 2024. My colleagues and I believe this will pose significant challenges to freedom of expression and religious liberty, especially for Christian ministers. This cybercrime bill introduces vague terms in section 19 and 20, including humiliation, intimidation, anxiety, and substantial distress, and threatens the long tradition of the multi-faith community of freely sharing their faith, Muslims, Hindus, Rastafarians, and others alike. Christian themes such as the consequences of unrepentant sin or the concept of an eternal punishment in hell, among others, preached with the intent to bring in change for the better in someone's life. Some listeners, after hearing a sermon, may claim in their opinion that they experience substantial emotional distress or anxiety and may take that preacher to court. If the court upholds that complaint, the preacher may face a fine of $100,000 and or 10 years in prison. This could jeopardize the freedom of preachers to share their faith in places of worship or public spaces or through the media. The bill's provision on emotional distress could impose caution and even self-censorship on preachers who may avoid discussing certain documents and certain doctrines which are central to the gospel out of fear of lawsuits. The Rastafari community who believe in the empowerment of the Afrocentric culture emphasize that the distortions of the Bible oppress Africans, and some may now find that someone who finds that reference emotionally distressing or intimidating can now take legal action against them, claiming offense, intimidation, or emotional distress. The American Convention on Human Rights in Article 12 clearly affirms that everyone has the right to freedom of conscience and of religion, and to profess or disseminate one religion or beliefs, either individually or together with others, in public and in private. Article 13 states that everyone has the right to freedom of thought and expression, either orally, in writing, in print, in the form of art, or through any other medium of one's choice. While legal accountability might be imposed to protect others' rights or national interests, freedom of thought of expression should remain free from prior censorship, and the right of expression may not be restricted by indirect methods or means, such as the abuse of government or private controls over newsprint, radio broadcast frequencies, or equipment used in the dissemination of information or by any other means tending to impede the communication and circulation of ideas and opinions. Given the aforementioned facts, the cybercrime bill should address clear, objectively identifiable behaviors such as hate speech, threats against life, defamation, and extortion. These actions are clear-cut and can be measured with specific criteria. Thank you.
Members of this session of the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, buenos dias. I'm Timone Howard, and a spoken word artist. Sections 19, subsection 3, and section 20, subsection 1 of this bill stand as an unnecessary and harmful barrier to the freedom that we artists need for creative social discourse. The goal of a safe digital space is not exclusive to the artistic range and way of freedom of expression and conscience, as these are vital components of a democratic society. In fact, it needs that range. Historically, creative work has been used to boldly challenge the status quo, break taboos, and promote societal development. From George Lamming to George Orwell, the United Artists Against Apartheid to Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, Dave Chappelle to Andrew Schultz, from the White Rose, anti-fascist graffiti to women defining women in contemporary art of the Middle East and beyond, Maya Angelou, Langston Hughes, me, and maybe you. Range of artistic expression is vital, and we will explore how Section 20, Subsection 1 of this cybercrime bill, if passed as is, hinders it. Consider this example. I'm going to compare America and Barbados. We use two distinctly different forms of government, but this is a rough comparison for a frame. As there are 50 states, there are 30 constituencies. As there are governors, there are sitting MPs, members of parliament, who represent those constituencies. In one constituency in Barbados, St. Lucie, we have for over a decade, experienced notably subpar water quality. It is poor. Can you believe that the representative of this constituency said that it is irresponsible for the persons in this constituency to not pay for this water which is brown and sometimes smells and ruins their white clothes, among other things, and causes other challenges and problems? He had the insensitivity and lack of situational awareness to say this. He should irresponsibly lose his constituency seat. Commission, would you believe that if he claims he felt my expression was offensive and intended to produce anxiety or humiliate him, he can file a criminal charge against me and I could be ordered to pay a fine of up to 50,000 United States dollars and serve up to 10 years in jail, simply for sharing my honest opinion on what this MP said, which was aired on national radio. At age 20, my bank account isn't built to bear the fine of 50,000 US dollars. And in terms of the 10 years, one could say that time is on my side, but that hardly means it should be stripped from me so callously and casually. Add to that the stigma of conviction, and it seems like a dark road ahead for me. We artists need the facility to express our perspectives freely without that penalty, even when our work confronts uncomfortable truths or highlights issues that may be found distressing. As the saying goes, art imitates life, life imitates art. And I can tell you, neither life nor art are always perfectly pleasant. Commission, I say again, this bill stands as a barrier to the freedom that we artists need to address social issues openly. And as we can see, it can leave charged young artists broke and broken. So I ask you, in this special 191st session, on behalf of Barbadian artists, please strongly and exhaustively encourage the Barbadian government to collaborate with the artistic community in instilling safeguards to prevent genuine harm without impeding these necessary creative liberties found in a thriving democratic society, and without quite probably disadvantaging our youth, who represent the future of our culture and our country. Thank you.
Wow.
Gracias.
Oh my God.
Pasamos ahora al
Oh,
la palabra por
oh Lord. Oh, gee. Woo! Standing ovation. Barbie. I am just, Lord, look at me, Timone. Look at me, Timone. Oh my Lord. Top
We
class.
said cheese don't bread. Cheese don't bread.
Cheese on bread. Yes. What?
Oh,
What?
fantastic. Fantastic.
Rose?
Yes.
Rose?
Fantastic.
Man, Dave, keep them up there. Keep them, put them back. I'm getting life
Put
from
it
this,
back up.
man.
Yes, it's fine by
This is
me.
how I probably needed to see just like this tonight. I needed to see it like this tonight. Let them ever go and pass that bill inside of here. Let me tell you, the Gen Z's after them, man. Woo, my God.
Can they remain dismissive now? Can they remain dismissive now?
Mm. Wow, just put the picture on. I have somebody. Let me call somebody here. They've been trying to get in, Dave. Just keep it there a bit. Just keep it there a bit. No, that need to play on the radio. Dave,
Yes.
you gotta get the audio of that. We need to send that to Starcom. That must play. Oh my gosh, man. Ooh. Oh gosh.
After the recommendations of several persons from the civil society, and incidentally, there was, as far as I recollect, one hearing for civil society. I am not aware of an ongoing dialogue with the Barbadian public on this bill. And as a result of that, as a matter of fact, the bill was passed in Parliament, went to Senate. It was pulled back from Senate as a result of the objections of the Civil Society of Barbados. And then it went to Joint Select Committee. In that Joint Select Committee, I was one of the persons presenting in that Joint Select Committee, along with several others, including one of the legal experts, one of the cybercrime experts on the planet, who strongly recommended to the government to pull back on this bill. As a result of that, the Joint Select Committee removed the term embarrassment from section 19 and 20. Criminal defamation still remains, even though we have a defamation law in Barbados that will attribute a $2,700 fine or something in that matter, in that area, to a person for defamation, but does not criminalize the individual. Rather than addressing the concerns about excessive fines, the committee increased the fines from 70,000 to 100,000 and the prison term from 7 to 10 years. And while terms like annoyance, inconvenience, obstruction, embarrassment, and insult were removed, citizens may still face severe penalties for causing humiliation, intimidation, anxiety, or substantial distress online. Our take on the matter is that these areas are far too vague and not specific enough to be risking an individual criminalization. We are talking here about a citizen of Barbados going to jail for 10 years for this matter.
Commission, I will be brief. Firstly, similar to Dr. Ferdinand, I am not aware of the exhaustive dialogue from 2021. I would be appreciative if some references of those dialogues in 2021 and 2022 could be provided. That would be fantastic. Additionally, Mr. Volterra, you spoke of the fact that the ideas we're presenting here are not novel, but I will go to somewhat of a riddle, somewhat of a phrase, puzzle. If a tree falls in a forest and no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? Yeah. If it is that, and it is, as Julio would have said, that the level of opposition to the sitting government is not productive enough or not strong enough to actually offer any sort of resistance to what's being pushed in Parliament, then it is very easy for you to say Well, we've had the discussion, we've had dialogue, and we've talked about it, and you've expressed your beliefs already, and we're here now just wasting time. While you can easily have not really, as I dare say you haven't, taken really into consideration the concerns of the Barbadian people. You mentioned our legislation history as well. The majority of those 400 years you are speaking to actually were in the context of colonial oppression as well. So that isn't really something to boast about per se either. As one of the commissioners would have said, no one here is denying the necessity of safeguarding our digital environment. But I would say when that the guardrails become cages, it becomes dangerous. Going back to you, Mr. Walter, because you spoke for the 20 minutes. I would ask you what use is the image of a safe space where citizens' cries fall on deaf ears? And I would give you these two situations, which is better? A baby in a burning building cries, and a fireman hears and saves them, or a newborn baby that's crying, undergoing complications, and the nurses and guardians in the hospital walk around happily, speaking of the peaceful environment in which they're in, as though that child is not suffering. I would compare our current situation to the latter of those two. Additionally, the logic in your argument is not really intellectually honest, I would say, because as much as you say we are saying the same things, as much as you say that what you are saying, what you have proposed in the bill does not bring any excessive restriction on freedom of expression and freedom of conscience. We have given examples of how it does. You have not given a reasoning, a process by which you have decided that it does, by which you have came to the understanding that the limitations you have set are actually in keeping with not just the US Human Rights Agreement, but also our Constitution in
Yo voy a
Barbados.
pedir que, por razones de tiempo, podamos.
Oh God, no.
Marcia!
No. Jesus. What you say today?
Marcia!
Jesus bread. No, sir. You see why I had to go down to the sea to pray? I went to the
It's
beach
so
today.
brave.
I could not watch it. And I was this little boy. I can't say little boy, but Lord, I tell you.
Marcia, I wrote down here and then I saw Kim because I just writing down on the newspaper big with a marker. You heard that one. When guardrails become cages. Come on,
Cages.
brilliant.
What?
When guardrails become cages. You hear that analogy?
Barbados, let me tell you.
Beautiful language and pictures, words, and pictures and pictures and words. Murder.
Listen, I soon come back. I'm going for something to come back. Keep talking.
Oh, people, you all heard that. And then I have to borrow this line from him where he spoke of being intellectually dishonest. Sweet. And I do agree with you, Thunder, that Timone is clearly a young political leader who is ready to go up the steps of Parliament.
Yes. See,
Marcia,
Lashes.
you hear me? I am wondering if the likes of Ramel Springer, if the likes of give us some more who right now sit in the House of Assembly who can't string two words together, are they hearing these young people who don't even have the kind of give them a word, and these young people can represent us at this level? Ramel Springer, you hear this young man? Some of you that when in the House of Assembly, when a paper is presented, you can't argue to it. You just get up and ramble how great thou are, Prime Minister, how great thou are, our government, BLP government. Oh my gosh, when, like this one, Maxine, when guardrails become cages.
Listen, Rose, I had to run and get it because this is all I feel in my spirit. He lashed them today. That he look at that big lawyer and telling the lawyer, this is an international lawyer, and tell the lawyer, you're not being intellectually honest.
And
Listen
you
to
are
me.
intellectually dishonest.
Listen to me.
I wrote it here, look, Marcia, you should see how fast
Listen,
they write
the
them
reason,
down.
Rose, the reason they had to bring that lawyer because Hinkson, they do not trust him. He could not do what Timone did today. Miss McLean, I am like hitting the roof right now. You know why? They tell us they lie. That we do not have anybody in here to lead this country. They tell us they lie that we do not have people in here. And if these set up 29, if they go, what is going to happen? Could have any of them stand up in there and speak like that? Show me one that could do it. And he is 20 years old. 20.
But Marcia, not what impressed me is not his prepared script, but his on the foot response to what he heard. That showed that he was listening, thinking, analyzing, and at the same time preparing to respond intellectually and honestly. Wow.
Listen, Rose, let's hear from Miss McLean because you know Miss McLean. Miss McLean, I really like this.
Maxine, coming, Maxine.
Listen,
I'm happy tonight.
Rose, I am so sorry that you did not get to listen to it live. I think I heard you say that you were trying, but trust me, I was pleased. Is putting it mildly. I was ecstatic. I wasn't jumping up and down Marcia yet because I wanted to make sure I hear everything. But I must tell you, 20 years old, and he's introduced himself as a spoken word artist, among other things.
Yeah.
And as I listened just now again and again, every time I've heard it now the third time because you played it and then it was playing again, you realize what a powerful submission that was. They say the pen is mightier than the sword.
Yes.
And I will tell you, and there's also another one which we didn't look, but I will say a picture is worth 1,000 words. I watched the body language of Mr. Volterra. And in fact, let me find here as I speak a comment that was sent to me as it was going on by a young man older than Timone, probably in the age range of Chikwani, but I really had to follow what this young man said because the body language, the tone of the presentation, because he was reading from a script. I have no difficulty with somebody reading what they've prepared, but from reading it sounded as though he was given the script and he read it. But notwithstanding his first contribution, this was the word of a young man with whom I was communicating. This presentation from our government is, and this is in capital letters, so condescending. And I think with the kind of comment that I heard you refer to, I think it was Pastor Ferdinand who referred to the comments of MP, who chaired the commission, Hinkson. It really and truly was inappropriate. I think that unfortunately, even in the hearings of that commission, there were many occasions when Mr. Hinkson was behaving inappropriately in some of his comments. I remember his interaction with Kimar Stewart. I remember his very terse way in which he dealt with Mr. what's his name? Niall
Harper.
Harper. I almost
Harper,
call him by
yes.
his I almost call him by his sister's married name, Niall Harper. And I listened to that, and I listened, but you know what I saw in his rebuttal? Mr. Voltaire's body language changed, because I think that he recognized that his condescending, superficial comments were dismissed by the measured contribution of the young people of Barbados. And I'm not ignoring the contribution of Pastor Ferdinand. He's a mature, he's my generation. I want to focus on the young people. Because again, the whole attitude, Marcy, as you pointed out, people were saying, you go up there and y'all are wasting your time, essentially, is what was being said. But it is amazing that you have this behavior. And as Sunshine is saying, that I warned me 3 years ago that she was talking down to people who have one of the highest literacy rates in the world. And we have young people who once left to express themselves, because one of the things that people are doing, I mean, I listened to him, and what I promised to do, Marcia, if I can get a transcript of Mr. Voltaire's contribution, I will respond to it line by line, because I sat there and I listened, and I wondered who prepared that for him, because Mr. Voltaire has been working for the Barbados government for years. In fact, when I became minister, he was working, and he worked for us. His background is public international law, and his specialty is certainly in relation to the work he's done is land and maritime boundaries, international environmental law and those kinds of things. I trust and I hope that he was doing this pro bono for the governor of Barbados, because I don't think my taxpayers' dollars should pay him, not for the contribution I heard today. But it says something about, I guess. But if I could go back to his opening comments, I think he looked at the persons representing civil society and so on from Barbados, and perhaps the brief that he got, because I'm trying to understand what kind of brief he got from the government of Barbados. And certainly present there was Mr. Edmund Hickson, from what I'm hearing, who chaired the commission, I mean, the special joint select committee in the Senate. And I really wonder what they were thinking. And I would love to hear him now respond to what he heard from the other side of the table. I really am proud. And I think a lot of what he said, I mean, everything he said, I was responding to as he was speaking, in terms of the fallacy of the comments he was making. This whole notion about consultation and that kind of thing. Even the reaction to, I guess he had a task to carry out. But I don't think that the commissioners were overly impressed by what they heard from the government about this, because he represented the government. David and Goliath, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think, sorry, go ahead, Mark.
No, finish, Ms. McLean.
No, I was saying, I hope that the members of this administration would sit down and listen to this and understand that, notwithstanding, and that point was made, that while they may dominate Parliament, the people of Barbados are looking on, they are analyzing what is happening, and they are not accepting the disrespect that is being meted out to Barbadians. Barbadians for a long time were cowed, and they tried to seal it with legislation. But, the point was made clear. The people of Barbados do not object to cybercrime legislation. What they object to are specific provisions within this legislation. And however they try to sugarcoat it, or try to give the impression that there's a blanket objection to the legislation. It would appear the chairman of the Joint Select Committee to have listened to Barbadians and so on. So I really think that they've done a good job. I'm happy Barbadians were not able to listen.
Yes, hang on, caller, 1 second. Ms. McLean, thank you so much for your contribution. We have a caller on the line. Good evening, ma'am. Did you did you did you just listen to this presentation tonight at the hearing?
Yes, I actually listened during the hearing earlier today, and I have to say that it was an amazing. It was amazing to watch the entire team. They were so well prepared, so articulate, and they actually got their points across very clear. I don't think anyone that at that hearing misunderstood what was, what they were about. And I thought, I'm very proud of them. They did a great job, and I think everyone that's listened to them tonight can say the same thing. And I just want to agree with Ms. Maxine McLean in terms of the government's lawyer, and she spoke about them being condescending, and that is what I felt today. I was pretty much annoyed because the attitude from the lawyer was that they were talking to bad behaved children, and that they've been forced to come to this hearing. And the lawyer talked about all of the consultations, etc. And it seems as though that this group, are just unhappy with the results. And the lawyer mentioned one thing I thought was interesting, and that was that there was a popular social media organization, and he said that 90% of the people that sort of calling on that program were not necessarily in agreement with the issues that we have with the cybercrime bill. So I thought to myself, well, that is interesting. I would like to know which social media site that he's referring to. And so I thought that, basically he did not address any of the issues that were presented by the team. I don't think the government came prepared to address those issues. So I found that the session, in terms of, if I had to say who presented their case clearly, it was certainly our delegates. They did a very good job. And the response from the commissions sort of gave me they were very diplomatic, but the impression I got from them was that they heard what was being said to the commission. And the outcome more or less is that there needs to be more dialogue, which I agree. There needs to be more dialogue. They offered technical assistance, which I thought was very good. And, I hope it's not dependent on the government accepting. And it is a case that, that we, the loyal citizens of the country, can also say, yes, we want to have that consultation, because I think that's very important in order to bring the two sides together. And if we have a media, somebody, to help us to gel together, to bring the two sides so one side can hear clearly what the other side is saying, perhaps we can get this cybercrime bill addressed. But I want to say congratulations to the team. They did a fantastic job, and I'm very, very proud of them, and I'm proud to be a Bajan.
Yes. It's a good, and it happened in Independence, and that's why, listen, I didn't even ask people to like and to share, guys. You know what to do. This kind of goodness that we are celebrating tonight. We've got to like and share and subscribe. Like, share. We got to keep it moving. But Miss Mottley, two things I want. Oops, I called the wrong name. Sorry. Two things I want to ask you. You heard Dr. Ferdinand, and I'm just repeating what he said. He's alleging that that Edmund Hingston is saying that we are being funded, that this delegation that went to the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights was being funded by a right-wing organization. Did you hear that?
Yes, I heard that, and we can definitely say that is not the case. Funds were put together from members. So loyal opposition, we all got together and we all supported. I also supported. I have no problem saying that. And I think that was very important, because this was a very important matter that had to be addressed and had to be, dealt with. So there was no funding from anyone else. It's loyal citizens coming together, pulling their pockets and contributing as much, as they could. and it was very successful as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. And I listening to this, I just, while it was going on, I spoke to a lawyer to know what I can say and what I can't say. And while we're not calling him a liar, we're saying what you have said, Mr. Hinkson, if it is that you have said that, what you have said is a lie.
Marcia,
a complete lie.
Marcia may interject here. Why not let's use that term, intellectually dishonest?
Well, intellectually dishonest and a lie. Same. I'm using them same, the two of them. The two of them. Because I'm not saying he's a liar. What he has said, if this is what Mr. Hinkson has said, and I know that this has been they've been sending this around people have been sending it around on social media. And this is how this government works. They have their influencers, and then they send the things when they want to stop something. They knew this was coming up, and they wanted to stop it. And we want to make that clear to whomever is listening from the government. And if you don't stop that, you probably get a letter from us. But listen, are you going to be at the airport? Do you actually think that we should go to the airport to meet this team tomorrow?
Yes, I think we should definitely be there. I think we should give them a hero's welcome when they come back. We should be there decked out in our Barbadian colors. We should have flags. We should give them a hero's welcome. They did a phenomenal job. They're not lawyers or legal professionals, and they did a better job than the government's lawyer. So I think we should definitely welcome them home with lots of hugs and kisses and our heartfelt thanks. Because that's very important to show our appreciation for the hard work that they put in out there in Washington.
Yes, we are going to gather at the airport at 5:30, decked out in our Barbados colors. Miss McLean, you're coming. Miss McLean, I'm putting you on the spot. You're coming.
You put me on the spot. I can only tell you when I check to see, but I certainly will try to be. But I know that if I don't get there, you'll represent the two of us adequately.
You better come and pick me up. Come and pick me up. We go in. These are young people. I know you love young people too. And once your schedule is clear, you're going to come. You come and pick me up, and we go up there in our colors. These are young people, and we have to celebrate them. Of course, Mr. Ferdinand is there. He's young too. Right? He's young as well. Well, callers, thank you so much for calling. Oh my goodness, I am beside myself. I'm so excited tonight. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Mercy, and there's a young Robert Volterra. There's an image of a younger Volterra.
Oh, so this is everybody look. See the lawyer here. See the lawyer here on the right. Who is this?
2007.
2007.
2007.
Isn't this Senator Liz Thompson?
She was Minister of Energy at the time in this picture.
Liz, this is Liz. Well, I'm just going to call her by name. This is Liz Thompson. Okay? Right there beside him. So, you all understand what's going on. Okay? But let me tell you, listen, where my belt is. Where my strap? What I did with it? Yeah, they got it today, miss. They got it today. Listen, they got it today. The first time I bring up my strap was when Mr. Thorne was in thing. We have a little Mr. Thorne. Somebody say he's a Barry reincarnate. But oh my goodness, amazing. There's another caller here. Hello, good night, caller. Welcome to the Marcy Week Show.
Yes, good night. I just called to wish the team, congratulate, not just wish, congratulate the team, because what has happened is just prolific to see that Barbadians of all walks have not allowed, in my opinion, I call it dictatorship like legislative drafting, to muzzle Barbadians back into, I call it, New Age slavery. And what has transpired is something that all of Barbados, whether you're drinking take water or not, or you're living in luxurious abode, ought to feel proud, right? And I can't, words are not enough to explain what this means for the future of the country, and it just shows that the power is still in the people, and we have to keep it there,
Yes.
and ensure that it is not taken away by kindred political allies.
Yes, yes.
I
Just hold a minute, Dave. Can we keep that picture there? I keep something on that screen because it's just giving us life right now. And I know, sir, I can't say what your name is, but I know you're in the diaspora. I hope I can say that. Can I say that?
Of course you can.
Yes, you're in the diaspora, and you are also one of those on our team, right? You're also one of those on our team, and when you hear comments that it's been alleged that Edmund Hinkson, the MP Edmund Hinkson, the allegation is that he is saying that we are getting money from right-wing organization. In fact, one of the comments that had come to someone that we know, they even mentioned something about Trump and all of that. I mean, what you've been on the planning team, what do you say about something like that?
Two words come to mind. What is it that is in front of people's houses in Barbados right now that is not being taken up?
The garbage.
Utter trash. So you're going from one thing to the next. When it's not taint water, or when it's not taint water, it is trash. Those comments are mere gaslighting and trying to sway people away and distract people. Listen to me. Get on with the business of running the government and stop talking nonsense. The people of Barbados are not mere feudal peasants and will not stop or sit back and allow themselves to be taken, just driven back into slavery whilst people continue with bread and circuses all the time. A new day is coming. A new day is coming. It is here. And I think I'm just really excited that what has transpired shows the bravery and the resilience of the people, especially in this independence season. So it is something that ought to be celebrated. Bring up the soil on the rocks. and the Marby on the rocks.
Yes, okay. Miss McLean is showing hers. But listen, man, I know you're not here, but you're in the diaspora. I want to big up those in the diaspora. There's some people I can't call them their actual names because they didn't tell me that I can call their names. But those in the diaspora, we can't. This government is very vindictive, and they seek to do stuff to people. So we can't call everybody's names, but I just want to say to you guys in the diaspora, if you're listening, those of you who bought the ties, who bought the pins, Miss McLean, they went and they bought pins. Somebody in the diaspora called me and they said, Marcia, we bought these pins. I was going to call them to say, we need some pins. They bought the pins already. They bought special gifts for each of those people. They took care of them. They rehearsed with them. They made sure that they were speaking clearly, that the Americans could hear them. I mean, diaspora take a bow, and that's why I am one of them who believe that don't let them talk about the gathering for you to come down here and party and fete and spend out your money. This what you want to do is this kind of change you want to see in Barbados. You want to use your skills. You want to use your talents. You want to use the education that you have and all of the experience you have had overseas. That is what the diaspora want to do. This big gathering, gather the experience and gather the skills. That is what the people. Go ahead, please.
as well as gather that the Public Accounts Committee could be bipartisan, forensically audited, right? So that also should be gathered so that the country can advance, properly. You don't think that should gather too?
Correct.
You don't think you should gather that as well and stop the Auditor General from being muzzled? That should be gathered. You should gather that so that the millions and the collaborative billions could be forensically audited, so that the people of Barbados who are drinking taint water and who are suffering in various ways could know what to do. That is why you should start gathering, not just walking up and getting a big DJ and a big, a big artist. And then after that, what? The crime isn't down. The guns aren't disappearing. The children that that can hardly get to school with a full stomach, most of them now are they're not being filled. So how are you developing the country? Nonetheless, celebrations and toasts to you and the team for exemplary work.
Yes, they have done well, and you have done well. Thank you for the help that you have given to the team. We met on Saturday mornings when quietly we were meeting and working, and everybody who's helped. As I said, we can't just be calling people's names because we want to keep working. And this is a government that will cancel you. They will cancel you. They will cancel your job. They will cancel whatever they can cancel. So we can't call names, but thank you so much. We bless you. And once again, oh my goodness, I am so excited. Thank you. God bless.
Yes, continued success to you and yours. Thank you.
And you, when we go to the airport, sorry, me and Miss McLean going to the airport. She don't know it. Bless her. You can't get to go because you're not here, so we have to take pictures for you, okay?
Of course.
All right. Okay, thank you. Miss McLean, you can set us up quickly so we can bring some drums and sing there and it's like a festivity. Man, I know people's, people. Listen, we even if we don't get that and we can go in our colors, although I'm wearing all of my colors right now, but if we could go in our colors.
You got time to Lord to put them back on.
Lord never put them back on, right? Rose, you're coming tomorrow, Rose. Rose, you're coming to the airport tomorrow, Rose.
I hope that we can get away from that commitment to join you.
Oh Lord, we would love that. I believe so much in celebrating our young people, Miss McLean. I know tonight I'm going to cry before I go into my bed.
Just to remind, I think there was somebody who was asking us to tell the truth about Timone's age. He is 20 years old.
Yes, he's 20.
0. Not yet 21.
And Miss McLean, I like to. One of the things, I'm very, very transparent, and when he comes on with me, I'm hoping you'll come on Wednesday, and I'm going to tell you the backstory. Okay, there's a backstory, but I won't say anything now. I will ask his permission to tell the backstory because he has to find the time to come on here on Wednesday, and we're going to tell the backstory and have a good laugh about this. But the backstory is important to understand in terms of development, how we work with young people to develop young people, and that's why I want to tell that backstory when he comes on, and not just for him, but for Shakwani, who she represented for the young women, and also for Don, and all of them. So. But wow, I can't call out people's name. We've got to protect our people. Good night, ma'am.
Good night. This is a good night. Champagne glasses are raised and glasses are clinging for those who drink champagne, etc. It has been a victory, and I know that this is not the end of the battle, but I just want to. First of all, thank God for causing us to have this level of victory, because this event was bathed in prayer, and God has had his part, so we cannot not recognize him for playing his part, which was beyond our human ability to do. And I also want to thank the team, which was it was almost speechless. You had to wait, and their presentation. This is my opinion. Their presentation today, I will put it in the category of what actually, let me say it this way. When our former Prime Minister, Arabara, asked what mirror image that you have of yourself, this is what I would think about. They represented the nation of Barbados in an excellent, excellent way today. that the lawyer could not get himself in responding to when they gave him the opportunity to respond after his 20-minute presentation. The commission themselves could not but acknowledge the strength of the presentation, the volume of the presentation, and the depth of the presentation that was made today. They could not ignore it. So they spoke to both parties and talked about further dialogue because they misunderstood the strength of the loyal opposition and the ability to represent the nation of Barbados on a stage, on a world stage like this. And I am really sorry for the gentleman because in his response, I mean, his defense, he said pretty much we might be better served if we put this in writing because he had nothing else to say. Yeah. He just went on to talk about how beautiful Barbados was and blah, 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 and about different countries, which he then said has no real bearing on Barbados. So I do applaud the presentation, the presenters, and the way they presented. They were not flustered. They were not intimidated. They just spoke as if this is where they belong.
Yes.
So kudos to them 100%. And thanks to Marcia, to you, to the entire team of persons on all ends that helped in making this happen. And I know that it will continue because we are not quite finished yet.
Amen.
Not until this bill is rewritten.
Rewritten or never see the light of day. Never see the light of day because it's politically motivated, it's politically driven so that they would not be criticized and we become a one-party state. I am totally convinced of that. And for someone of the government for the allegation is that someone from the government could be spreading such a lie on the citizens. For someone from the government, Mr. Hinkson, if it is true, if these allegations are true, oh my goodness, what kind of MP could you be to represent citizens? And you're representing citizens and telling lies? The allegation is that you're telling lies on the citizens? Can you imagine that, caller?
When you operate and live a certain way, you expect that of other people. That's all I will say.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling him, I dare you to open your mouth in any public forum. And you open your mouth again. And I'm sending it up because you all listen. Open your mouth out again and say that again. Say it again.
The opposition.
And I can speak like that because I'm speaking from a place of truth. And you, ma'am, I know you've been part of the prayer team, right? And I've been praying and so on.
Correct. And I love this statement where your guard rails become cages. We got a problem.
We have a problem. Thank you, caller. Thank you for calling.
You're welcome. Have a good night, my loyal opposition members.
You all did well. They did well.
Yes. Absolutely. I'm proud and hopefully I will get to sleep tonight.
Yes, you will. All righty. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You know, Miss McLean, it was so good to see a young lady, and Miss Corbin on that panel as well with the young men. Wasn't it? It was great.
Yes, it was. I think that was important. Yeah. Speaking on behalf of youth and on behalf of women as well, but I really just want to comment about what I call, and I would generalize because I heard somebody called me to ask me if that whole thing about how the delegation was going to be funded. And I simply informed the person that if they watch this program, they will see how you operate with a level of transparency that I wish the government would
Yeah.
to
But this
emulate.
one, I don't want to think there, but there's another call coming in. Okay, just give me a second. Pleasant good evening.
Good night. This is Victor Andre Simon Young.
welcome. So great.
I want to say it again. Victor Andre Simon Young, the Barbados senior athlete.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you don't got to hide in the boy can't victimize me. That youngster, he is a born leader.
Yes.
That youngster is a born leader. And I want people in Barbados to try to listen to the Marcia Week show. It is educational. I hear a lot of people talk about VOB education. This is an educational program where people will get to learn about what is going on in Barbados and stop allowing these political donkeys, not to be able to get that bread out the mouth.
Yes.
They're not going to learn anything because they're blind people. They got on blinkers. The guy there, the little short guy, you see his name Hinks and all that, you know? He's not able to talk to his make sport. He's a sport maker. He's a big sport maker. And one of the things about them, they're very aggressive. Whenever you hear any of them talking, you will see aggressiveness and spite in the face. And they can't get too sensible people because, as I said, they will fool who they can fool, and the people who can't think. They've been trying to fool us with the thing, the games all the time, and see they're spending too much money on the old people. But yet they can be flying all about. You could say you're spending too much money for the old people who are bringing back marriage here to Barbados and showing that seniors are still alive. But what they want to do is see how much seniors they can put in homes. But they ain't getting in the homes. They want getting in homes. They want to build a legacy of homes. That's what they want to say. They're vexed because you live in long.
Yes.
Nobody will stop them from living long. If they would do the right things, they would live long too.
Yes.
You see all of them in there, the right in there, with under the chin, with trim. All the chin now, they got them.
Listen, Mr. Young,
Yes.
I tell you, but let me tell you something. You know why we speak out against the cybercrime bill is for people like yourself, because you speak your mind, and you speak your mind, and what they would want to do is to stop somebody like you from speaking out, because if that bill comes and you say something and somebody feels anxious, if they feel anxious or they feel humiliated or they feel intimidated or they feel what they call substantial emotional distress.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
You start cyber bill, that would have tried to stop me from saying what I can say here now, because from the time they get to hear my name, because I don't talk all it, I mention my name because I ain't got that guy. They would have got the police here up at my door must be already. But this is the program that you can deliver yourself. The other program that you hear, VOB and CBC, all them are anti. Because the sponsors, you got to say what the sponsors want you to say, because the sponsors know what they're getting from them too. But I ain't got to be afraid of that. You think at 87 years in a couple of days, I'll be 87. There's anybody in the world I'll be afraid of. Whoever you do me, I will still live longer than you. So, they can't come to me without foolishness. They're going to really die with the former fire officer and all them kind of things in Barbados. I believe I had more jobs in Barbados than anybody in the world. But I didn't come through the back door, I come through the front door. For my mother will never allow me to come through the back door. She always used to let me come through the front door. Of course, you could see why bringing in and why carrying out.
Correct. You see all of that to the way you grow up. It's true, you know.
So they ain't got the secret for me.
Yes.
I never asked her a favor yet. Because you know that I go work, I used to have to work hard to where I go.
Yes.
And I teach all my children so that way that they're progressive and they're to the top of their profession. Thank the Lord.
That is
and now
awesome.
they never doing the service. Now I want to service from them like they know. What they can do from now? All they can do is try and hide my pension or TV.
Well, it looks like they want to teach it.
They teach it that easy though. I told them already, don't do it all the time.
Oi! 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 Oi!
Mr. Young, Mr.
I
Young.
tell you all to give those young people that coming back home a big welcome. If I could have got up there, but I can't get up there because it's always a charity because I just had a little problem here to get stressed up around here. So I know I'm going to do it, but I want them to get this person and give that youngster. If I was there, I would put him in a family lift on my back and walk him straight to the terminals to come home.
Yes, yes. Listen, did you hear Mr. Young? He cannot be there, but he's saying we need to go to the airport tomorrow and that youngster needs to be hoisted up off the ground.
I listened to that. I watched that show today. I watched it just now, and I had to tell you what I should look this as a youngster. He can walk up that public building at any time. He can walk up there at any time a delivery says.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic youngster.
Yes, he is, honey. Yes,
And
yes.
and these are the type of people that make run Barbados now mind if you're talking about the best prime minister what? Best prime minister what? And she passed away tomorrow, and the two passed away tomorrow, he got the money because really the schoolboys she got there, and her comment called them a schoolboy. You know, I was talking to the prime minister said they did not hear them say that they say this thing themselves. Yeah, the prime minister said there's a bunch of schoolboys that got there.
I said it.
Let me tell you, thank God those young people went up there about that cybercrime bill because they would put you right in jail for calling them schoolboys. Because all they're going to say you hurt their feelings.
Huh?
They would have put you in jail for 10 years for saying that they're schoolboys. You know that?
Yeah, if they was to get that pass, if they was to get the bill passed, they would do it, but the thing you pass, come in your passbook here. They're going to go there by Trump and pass it.
Yeah, it can. Listen, Mr. Young, you are giving you listen, Mr. Young, oh, I don't even know what to say. I just love talking to you, and I love the fact that you're able just to speak your mind. Thank you so very much for calling, and this is what Mr.
And this is the program that people should try and get it. I don't know if people don't never hear about this program, but I was really think that they could have walked over, they would hear about it.
Yes. Mr. Young, thank you so very much. Okay, thanks for calling. God bless. Yes, bye-bye. Bye. Barbados Exhibit A. This is what we're fighting for. Whether you're young, he's 87 years old. He should be able to speak his mind once he's not defaming anybody. You understand? And to stop this foolishness about if you feel anxiety and if you feel humiliated or you feel all these emotions and all of that, you feel undue emotional distress and all of that. What about all those people that Mr. Young grew up strong? Mr. Young grew up a strong man. Huh? And now you come with all this we are trying to protect. When we are on here, we're not here. They call us troublemakers. They call us all kinds of names, Miss Corbin. But we are here, Exhibit A, at 87 years old. He should be able to speak his mind once he's not defaming anybody. That's what we're fighting for. Right?
And that is why, Marcia, when I did my early presentations on the cybercrime bill, remember I focused on two groups, the elderly and the young people, because the elderly who are accustomed to speaking their minds, as the last gentleman, speaking their minds freely. They've grown up in an era where they could speak their minds. Particularly, I have found, and not being partisan, but I have to pull out this one, particularly under the DLP. Maxine, you would know people feel that under the DLP, they can say what they say, they can denigrate, they can degrade DLP MPs, even the prime ministers. And so we have had a generation, they're passing out now, but 60 plus 70s, 80s, those from the 90s, some of those centenarians, they are accustomed to speaking their minds and not being informed about the cybercrime bill. They will speak their minds and then be penalized for it, unaware of the draconian measures and actions within the cybercrime bill. And similarly, young people.
Yeah.
And this is why we have to represent them and educate and, in a sense, protect them through our actions.
Correct. We have to. We have to. We have to. There's another caller here. Guys, they're coming in and this is their time. So we're gonna let them folks continue to continue to share, okay, so that because what we'll do, they'll come on these people who don't want the show on, Miss McLean, and all they have to do is to tell YouTube that this is hate speech, and once they do that, a program like this will go way down in the algorithm. All right, so it's very important that you like the show, that you like, and that you share, so that YouTube knows that we're going to cancel out what they're doing, because they will try to do that with the show. Okay. Good night, sir. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Blessed good night. I have to shout tonight. When the people lose their fear, the government lose their power. I can hear a tremor right now coming from the government, a kind of a tremor that they are afraid of. I am not so much about talking down all politicians or all leaders, because especially when they insult us, we really want to put them there. So if we don't want to be insulted, then an X would decide all of that, So we can take the insults now, but our X is going to decide who's going to get the insults from now on. I am so proud of our crossmen. I call these the crossmen of our faith. We were actually in a serious position where I believe our fate was determined, and crossmen of our faith came forward to represent us. So indeed, on one end we have our crossmen, and on the other end we had the satellites. We are not satellites. We are crossmen of our faith. And I am very proud of what went on today. Kudos to our men in black and blue.
and the women as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, thank you. And you know what? Why this is amazing. We talk about Shakwani, the female there, but we see so many more women, Miss McLean and Miss Corbin, who are being killed. By the gun, right here in Barbados, being stabbed. And here it is on the world stage. We have young men representing this country in such a way. We have young ladies, Shakwani, very well put together, well presented. I mean, that young lady, Shakwani, this is really her time. She just has a shine on her. It's like that she's just shining like a diamond. I just love that young girl so much. But God is just doing something amazing with them. And I have to say that two of these that are here, along with one, another one, there are four of them that the Kenyan was here, Dr. Wangusi. And we took them out to dinner with him, and we had such an amazing evening. And we've been we've been just keeping together, and pouring in. And those two already, I know the others are. There's another one there. I won't call his name, but he's doing some things in the background, and eventually we are going to see what it is. There's another, and the other one does a lot of the social media work, a lot of the editing behind the scenes. So they have different skills. But we're seeing how these young people, how they are really just blossoming and been given the opportunity and so on. And I think that this is really, really tremendous. What is happening here? That's another one there. That's my girl there. She tough as nails. Tough as nails. Let me tell you.
Marcia, you know where she has come from, where she comes from. Church
No.
Village St. Philip, where I came from. Whoop, Church
Yes.
Village St. Philip.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's another one. That's another one there. And regardless, because two of them, there are four of them, it's four, five that we have we've been working with, and two of them have decided they wanted to be part of a particular party. The others are not interested, but they're doing their stuff in their particular space. And these are young people that we feel that we can call on in the loyal opposition to say, can you do this, can you do that, and give them opportunities. And I'm so happy. I know Dr. Wangusi, he's going to see Timon tonight, and he was going to be excited to hear about what has happened with him, and he knows Shakwani as well. I think it's just amazing what all of us, everybody's working to do, because it takes a village. It really does. It takes a
And
village.
Marcia,
Yes.
may I interject here? I saw Thunder put it up that Timon is not like that the young man for whom they were going to hastily change the constitution to get him into the Senate to spout their rhetoric. These young people, you can see they are not driven by political position or grandstanding or a platform made for them. Like that young man who they were pushing to get into the Senate, I think at age 20. These are young, and who would have political privileges and protection. Notice the words I'm using: political privileges and protection.
Mhm.
He didn't or doesn't have to put himself on a limb and be concerned about being marginalized, being disenfranchised, being victimized. But these young people who want to protect sovereignty, freedom of speech, who want to ensure that Barbados is fair and free, there's freedom of expression. These young people have put themselves out on a limb, have decided we're going to walk the proverbial plank for a wider public. There is no gain for them.
True.
There is no gain for them. And that is why I'm so proud of them. So when the other side think that they have them all, come to the old people. Titi, my grandmother used to tell me, Martin is a good one for independence.
Yes.
Titi Lati spell Dutch and R-A-T spell rat. One
What?
corner
Say
of
that.
the
I've never heard
rat.
that. Listen, Rose, slow it down for me. I want to understand. I want to say it too. Tell me.
My grandmother,
Yes.
when she got to the end of her tether and she could not get you to understand. And she wanted to silence you. She would come up with this saying, Titty Latty spell Dutch. R-A-T spell rat. Go in the corner and hide yourself. So I am going to say, when the people over there in Raid feel that they got them all, the spuddlers, they got the young people running behind them and clamoring after them, and they have them rehearsing their script and their narrative. I will say like my grandmother, Titty Latty spell Dutch, R-A-T spell rat, go in this corner, hide yourself.
I thought the end was gonna rhyme or something. Just go in the corner and hide.
Yes.
Yes.
And these young people have no political advantage on their side. They have given themselves up to the highest level of representation with support from the diaspora. What more can we want? And from ourselves.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. We have another caller here. Good night, caller.
Good night. How are you doing, Marcia?
I am doing well. Let me just take the opportunity to say thank you for calling the Marcia Week Show. We don't take you guys for granted. We're family. We're one big family, and I know you're pleased to see our young people on the world stage, right?
Of course, of course. I don't think there's been a word invented to describe Timone. He's just out there. But I called to ask a question. I don't know, maybe Maxine may know the answer to this. Can the government enact a constitution as if the Republican Constitution without the response from the citizens?
I believe they can. I mean, they did not indicate that the process is that it has to go to Parliament, and constitutional matters of that nature requires a 2/3 majority. And obviously, in Parliament, they can do anything they want legislatively because they have that majority and more. To me, it has a lot more to do. I don't think there's any, as I said, it has a lot more to do with the integrity and in terms of a commitment made to the people and following through on commitments where consultation was supposed to happen. Now, as you can see in this cybercrime bill, you had consultation, but was it really of the extent and nature that allowed proper consideration of people's views? So, short answer, there's nothing to stop them. They have the parliamentary 2/3 majority and more. So it's a more or less a moral and position that you would take in terms of engaging the public. But if they go ahead, I mean, I would think it would not. It would be terrible to do that, especially after doing the process almost the cart before the horse. You went and you short notice brought us to Republican status. There wasn't any expected objection to that, but the whole discussion of exactly what that meant has not taken place. It took 2 years to get that Constitutional Reform Commission report. We haven't seen it. We haven't had any detailed presentation on it. So for me to go ahead and do that would really be more than a slap in the face of the citizens. So I will hope common sense will prevail and that we are allowed to see it, comment, and influence what the final thing would look like.
Yes, yes.
So, I must say, my reason for asking that question is the behavior that was experienced today.
Okay.
And also with the Joint Select Committee in the Senate,
makes me wonder that they just do whatever the hell they feel like doing with regards to the Republican Constitution for Barbados.
Well, we will have to wait and see.
We will be left.
Marcia has the caller gone because
no, the caller's still here.
Okay.
No, I'm still here.
Because I had here on
about that. And that's, you know, I would have, although the AG made his statement several weeks ago, or however long it was ago he made about, you know, this presentation being done, it's still, you know, the like I said, I'm just concerned about what they can do with regards to our constitution with our say-so, which says we may have a vote, but only if they bring it to in front of us. If not, we can't vote on it and have that set whatever happens.
Does anybody want to comment on that? You were.
Yes, please. I had here Marcia to chit-chat on tonight on Saturday Sun, where at the back it says decision time, and the Prime Minister is reported as saying that Cabinet agreed that report, the report on the from the Parliamentary Reform Commission dealing with the Republic, she is saying that this should be looked at during November and through publication. That also, as well as the report from the Parliamentary Reform Commission, these will be fully ventilated by the commissioners during November, and they hope by early next year that sorry that I was bending, but I was reading, early next year there will be the government will make final call on the constitution by early next year. So I am seeing be on the lookout, because we're having all the November celebrations. Then we go into Christmas, and it might slip and slide and be slid in, and we don't know, would not have that participation and discussion. As she said, I look forward to Barbadians embracing the opportunity for rigorous discussion, sharing views, and ultimately, when all of that is done, the cabinet will reflect upon the reports and the consultations. The decisions for governance will come early next year.
Wow,
so, do we have time to attend to those matters during November, December?
Rose, what I would say is that perhaps, I mean, we are on tomorrow's the 12th, huh? If I have my date
tomorrow's the 12th, yeah.
And we probably have to wait till the Prime Minister returns from Azerbaijan and tell us when we can get those documents. I suppose multitasking or leaving the assignment to other people, because I mean, as I said, tomorrow's the 12th, so the middle of November is this week. And it seems as though no action takes place, we're absent. So that is I would say at best a fluid date.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, caller, for raising it. It is something I think, panel, that we should look into a little bit more. We should pay some attention to it, because I see where Rose is going, where we get into the merriment and they put us in a frenzy. And they always do that, Miss McLean. And at the end of it, they slip something. You know, boy, this feels like rape. I'm so sorry.
And if what they say about the plans for the gathering, that they're gonna be partying, they're gonna party week after week. then we want a big fete next year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It feels like, yeah, when someone wants to take advantage of you. That's what I meant. I didn't mean to be so gross with saying that word. What I'm saying is that you're being
I didn't
taken
actually hear what you
advantage.
said, but you can't repeat it. But I did hear. I heard you laugh and say,
Okay.
But it is interesting before I go, because Rose talked about the back page in the newspaper. This situation with regards to the Constitution is so important that the back page is the only place it could go.
Yeah.
Wow.
And on the Saturday Sun.
On the Saturday Sun.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, we need about 6 of Timon in here to start to carry on in here, okay? And do it,
Yes,
because
yes.
he did not pick up a stone or a stick. Do you understand what I'm saying, caller?
For the place.
Yes, we need a couple. We just need a couple. I tell you, we need a couple of them. Just a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
All right. Well, y'all enjoy the rest of your night, and thanks for taking my call.
Yes, most definitely, most definitely. Thank you so much, Mr. Paris. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Yes. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And Marcy, of course, we recognize the contribution of Donald Leacock and Pastor Ferdinand and the introduction by the attorney. But I think what really would have caught the attention of Barbadians is the contribution of the youngest member of the team.
Yeah.
Yes,
Timon.
I think, and him being a young man.
Yes, I
When we
mean
see
Don
that
is
the-
more seasoned and
And
probably-
can I say that before Timon left when they were at the airport, I spoke to Don. I called Don aside and I said, Don, I need you to work with Timon for me. Okay? I said to him that he said, I promise you, Marcy, I'm going to work with Timon.
Beautiful.
Right? And when they come on, we will talk about some of how the preparation is done. Mr. Glenn Murray, helped to prepare myself. I helped to write and prepare. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of research. It's a lot of, everything that goes into the whole thing. Lots of rehearsals and everything. When we come on, and once they give me permission, we'll be able to say what we need to say. And the only reason we would need to bring that up is because we need to talk about the process. You see this on here, guys, but there is a process and there is a working with young people. There's a way to work with young people, and it's not easy. It's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. And to be willing to give them a chance then, to really show themselves. And it's not easy. It's that you and it's a big thing, but you're giving them a chance, right? And to see when they go down and Shaquani and Timon and what they were able to do. And especially Shaquani only joined the team in a couple of days. And to be able to accomplish so much in that couple of days, I think that it's really, really amazing. So when I bring them on, hopefully they can all come on Wednesday, and we can have that discussion. But I'm being told I said the wrong flight. Okay, so if this person can check on the flight for me quickly. I know that we're to be at the airport. We're going to be at the airport tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. So that part is correct. It's the name of the flight that it seems like I got wrong, and I got a message from somebody from the team. So we just need to correct that for me, please, as soon as possible. But you know what I look like, Miss McLean look like, and Miss McLean is here finding a way to drag you into this. You know what Rose looks like, and I know Rose is gonna be there with her husband. So folks, we know these are young people. Let them not come back to Barbados. I have had this too many times, Miss McLean. You go and you work for Barbados, you do all these things, and you come and they rough you up at the airport, and you know what I mean? And sometimes you have to wonder, you travel on behalf of Barbados, and you come back and they treat you like nothing. Nobody to greet you to say congratulations. You come back with a little award in your bag and come home and put it on your little counter. That has happened to me so many times. Uh, you're laughing, but it's true. And these are young people. I'm at a certain age. You get over those things, but these are young people, and so we want to make a big thing about it. All right. So let us be at the airport 5:30, decked out in our colors, right? And thing. And I saw Dave had up Mr. Barrow there, his picture and the movie, the Barrow movie. That's how I met Miss McLean. And we're going to show that movie the last Wednesday in November, right here on the show, and we're gonna have a big discussion afterwards, on the show, and it's just gonna be amazing. This is gonna be it's a place of education, and I know why Dave had that on, because when you see how Mr. Barra dealt with these people overseas, why people are saying he's Barra reincarnate, right? It's the spirit is there, whether he's in pot. And there's, what, Miss McLean, and there's so many of them all over this country, actually.
Yes, yes, yes. It is an opportunity that we have to give our young people to demonstrate their desire to excel, their commitment to country and so on. You see, because if we think about it, where else would a 20-year-old get the opportunity, looking at the Barbadian landscape right now, where else is there for a 20-year-old to get the opportunity to share, and in this case, a 20-year-old young man, and I emphasize young man because of the destruction that our young men are visiting on themselves, and that is being visited on them daily in a lot of young people. We've lost a lot of young people, and some. But the point I'm making is, where else can a young man at this point in time get an opportunity to express his maturity, his competence, his skills, his intellect? Tell me. And people want to shut this down. When in fact, for the last how many is over a year plus, and how many and more months you have, and in fact, not only you've been doing this kind of advocacy and community work in different forms for the longest while, and people want to criticize that, when in fact, what do you see? You see it's Don, it's Timon, it is Thierry, and so on, and others who you engage in, not necessarily on the show, but in other spheres of your public service, as I would describe it, because you're not paid for it. And so we really need to recognize the contribution and encourage. In fact, I would recommend to everybody listening, to the young people in your family, your friends, and more especially the young men, ask them to watch this, if only to watch the clip, or the clips of the contribution of these young people today. I am very serious about that. Let them look, and then you can engage them in a discussion as to what it was, why it occurred, what are the implications for them of success or failure in relation to the implementation of the legislation. And I think this today's event, to my mind, Marcia and Rose, demonstrate the seriousness of purpose, the impact, and the very importance of the work that is being done by the team and all those people who support the work of Dave and Marcia.
Yes, and if I could just say something before Dave plays this, I know it's 10:04. I know some of the persons on here, they say, but we have not done a march in so long. We haven't done this and we haven't done that. And I said to them, look at what's happening with the cybercrime bill, and look at this. This has caused a pretty penny and a lot of work. A lot of work has gone into what you see there, Rose, on the screen. So, what we saw tonight. And so sometimes you fight on the streets. There are times when you're going to fight with your pen and paper, So we are fighting, but we're doing it in different ways. So you might not see us on the street marching right now, because that's not the time for it. We needed to put our energies into this moment here in Washington. Dave, go ahead and play a piece of this. We're closing now. Can you hear? Anybody hearing?
does seem on the face of it that you are indeed an idiot and cannot share anything.
Sir, if this fooling just don't stop, sir, soon for nowhere to bring in pork chop, putting in sauce, rugs, and stew, and bread and fish both inside here, sir.
Mr. Barrow not only faced suspicion abroad, but also at home in Barbados, where those in the upper class tried to paint him as a socialist or a communist who would dispossess the upper classes of their property and economic privilege if he ever became prime minister of an independent Barbados. Mr. Barrow's unrestrained language and impatience with both friends and foes contributed to this growing concern.
Well, Mr. Clark, in Barbados, we don't buy pig in a pork.
Wait, the black workers?
What you need to understand is that Errol Barrow only speaks on a platform of sitting members who do their work. You got that?
So you sit down with me and you said, look, let's write a little note in the paper. And I said, okay, we did that. And everything was all right.
I am a penniless politician. But I wish to remain honest one.
But he paid, Errol Barrow paid duty in item he buy. I see it in my eyes. Not use government money for his own efficient. That's what he admire.
We have been colonies of Britain for 350 years. And I do not intend that Barbados be a colony of this airline. Do not wait until the end of the month. Close your offices and be out of Barbados in 2 days.
And many organizations felt that they were not consulted. One such organization was the Anglican Church, who also challenged him. In retaliation, Barrow then chastised the Dean of St. Michael's Cathedral.
And said, I think you're a lucky man. 2 men went into the cathedral last Sunday to shoot you.
Reagan, he thought, had no right to be intervening in the affairs of a CARICOM state. So Mr. Barrow called Reagan a cowboy.
Yeah. Well, guys, we are going to be showing this on, this is an award-winning film, won awards in New York, in LA, in Africa, wherever, whatever competition we would win, pick up some awards. And we want to just thank, everybody who's helped. And Miss McLean is one of those from afar at that time. But we're going to be showing this on this show, because this is one of the movies that they don't want to show. They don't want, we offered to show it in the World Cup and they said no, because it is of a different party. Shame on them. And so that's what I was told. And so we are going to be showing it here in right here on the Marcia Week Show, and have a discussion at the end of it. All right, guys. So this is where we say good night. Rose, Mrs. Corbin, and Miss Maxine McLean. Thank you all so much for being on tonight. It was a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you to everybody. Thank you.
Hey, on my heart I put my hand. Hey, and pledge allegiance so true. Barbados, I love you. Love your body. Barbados is my home. No matter where I roam. Barbados is my home. Is my home. Barbados is my home. No matter where I roam. Barbados is my home. Is my home. Love your body. Yeah. Gem of the Caribbean Sea. One nothing with me.